excited for episode 8. And that's good. You should be excited because we have a very exciting guest on our podcast today. It is... Mitch, would you like to introduce him? I mean, he's your friend.
Yes. This is my good friend, Mr. Cody Tinsley.
That is correct. Say hi to all the wonderful people. Hello, everybody.
Is that going to be a thing?
That was it. Introduce yourself. What do you do?
I am a BFA acting major because that means I'm better than all of you motherfuckers.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
We're bowing to him right now,
sure.
in fact.
No, I'm a
Didn't
BFA.
take him long to start shit talking.
I'm a BFA acting major. I'm a junior in the program at Missouri State. I also work downtown, stick it in your ear, records, tapes, CDs. My forte.
They also smell smoking supplies.
They also smell smoking supplies. I actually know jack shit about smoking. I honestly just recently smoked hookah for
I
the
was
first
there
time.
for that. We were so proud of you.
I've never smoked it.
I've never smoked
so like
pot. Honestly, it's very difficult for me to sell shit like that.
I would believe that.
Not in terms of like
Awkward
a moral,
morality.
but I'm just like I don't
Just
know.
'cause you
It's
don't
like,
know.
is this a good bong? You're like, fucking...
That's what it is. Fucking looks like a pipe.
Yeah, there you go.
It's like I work in pizza delivery, and it's like if someone's asking would mushrooms be good on this, I'm like, I don't fucking like mushrooms. I don't know.
That shit happens to me at work all the time. People will come up to me and be like, is liverwurst any good? I'm like, fuck no, it's not. It tastes like old man's asshole.
Exactly.
And then you get...
Mayonnaise and sadness.
Mayonnaise and sadness. And then...
Band-Aids and sadness.
Oh, Band-Aids and sadness.
Also that.
And then other people will come up and be like, hi, can I get 12 fucking pounds of liverwurst? And I'm like, fucking no. I hate cutting this shit because it smells so bad.
Just for the viewers at home, we do not have Mr. Ian with us tonight.
We do not.
He has recently departed.
He had to leave because he's got a big bad case of having to work in the morning.
Andrew's here though.
Andrew is here, and he's the star.
Damn.
Isn't he?
I do have far and away the best chair in the house.
It's old and ratty, but damn is it
If
comfortable.
you had a visual, it's like you guys are my knights of the round table.
I'm gonna take
I am in the throne.
I'm gonna take a picture of it and just for this episode make it the episode podcast artwork.
We're gonna look like a bunch of drunkies. There's bottles and cans.
Not
all
up the
over
table,
table.
just a chair.
Not this dude. I'm just
Yeah, he's drinking water. He's fucking
Y'all are
fine.
alcoholic.
In case you didn't know, we also have Mitch.
You literally said yourself.
I'm here. I'm ready.
Didn't we already do this?
No, we didn't.
we didn't.
Oh, we didn't.
We
All right,
didn't.
no, yeah, this. Sorry,
I think
interesting.
we've all spoken.
Yeah,
We've all
Andrew
spoken.
Mitch.
You guys got too hung up on introducing.
We did. I try to make the guests feel at home. You know,
Well, I
welcome
appreciate
to the
that.
table covered in fucking beer.
You make them feel so at home that you completely change the way home operates.
Yeah, exactly.
You
Whatever.
just make it my home.
Exactly.
You guys
Make
look
them
sorry.
feel comfortable.
Tell me your name again.
No, that's fine. I'm Cody.
Cody.
Like Cody Rhodes.
Yeah,
Roadie
exactly.
codes?
Roadie
Brody
codes.
codes.
Brody
He
Cody.
knows.
I'll answer anything. You can call it, hey, shit.
Is there someone else who makes like professional wrestling references?
I'm good at names and faces. I might just point and go you.
You.
Hey, you.
He just pointed to Cody.
There you go.
So you were sticking in here. You sell records. You sell. Actually, it's just like fucking records they sell there, isn't
You
it?
said tapes. Do you guys actually still sell tapes?
You know what we actually do?
tracks.
Behind. We'll take pipes out of it for the
Yeah,
the time being. Behind records and then CDs, yeah, we sell a fuck ton of tapes because people still buy old cars.
Are tapes vintage again?
Yeah,
Or vintage and
and
Were they ever vintage?
Well, no, they were vintage again.
no. It's funny that you mentioned that because,
The Walkman's coming back.
well, to an extent that that's not necessarily untrue because the market for records bottomed out in the 90s, like just because the advent of the CD, and so
But now they're like hip and shit.
exactly.
Yeah.
And as much as I despise hipsters, all due respect,
I'll
they're-
No due respect.
No,
I
right.
fucking hate hipsters too.
no, not me. But
the hipster movement has provided both records and tapes now with like an upswing, so to speak, and it everything's cyclical because people have gone from wanting convenience in MP3s to something they can fucking touch now.
Yeah.
And also there's the great cliche that nothing sounds as good as vinyl. Well, it's a cliche for a reason because the audio format is so much more spread out on vinyl,
It's
whereas
much
in
more
MP3
lossless.
Exactly, and whereas in MP3 it's like fucking all mushed together.
see, man, this is why I still buy CDs. And people still look at me weird for that. I was bringing in my CD collection from my car the other day, and her neighbor was there. She's like, "What you got there?" I'm like, "My CD collection." She's like, "Really?"
and
I'm like, "Is it that fucking weird already?"
well, and the thing about CDs is that they're fairly decent mixture of both worlds.
Yeah.
I mean, you get the convenience, but and you sacrifice some sound quality, but not nearly as much.
They're more compact, but they are still very
Absolutely.
high in sound quality.
Yep.
Which is why I get them, because I love playing them in my car.
Yep.
Like,
And
I've got an iPod and I love it. I've got over 10,000 songs.
Right,
You
right.
know, I can't
Just
carry
gonna
around
drop that
all
number.
those CDs.
And-
Pick that back up, put it in my bucket.
And I would never deny the convenience that those things serve,
Oh, no,
because
they're so great.
you can't take fucking records jogging.
Yeah.
Right.
Not that I do any jogging.
Not
Skip
maybe
like
you
a
want to.
motherfucker.
Yeah,
Or you
exactly.
follow
I
it.
used to do that actually.
I can take my whole collection with me, which is fantastic.
Exactly.
I actually burnt out my copy of Linkin Park's Meteora because I would. Yeah, exactly. But I burnt it out because I would listen to it. I had this fucking portable CD player, and when I would mow the lawn at the house we lived in at the time, we had a very small front yard, a very small backyard, and like a side yard you could literally fit another house and a half in. Like a big house and
Do you
a half.
remember my backyard?
Yes.
My backyard was a bitch to mow because it was wide and it had a huge hill in it.
Imagine your backyard without the fence, like your entire
Yeah.
backyard multiplied by like almost 2 times.
Yeah,
And
thing
that
is
was my
awful
side
to mow.
yard.
So
And
awful.
it took me like 45 minutes just to mow that bitch. Like just the side yard. So I would just listen to fucking Meteor and it would skip like a motherfucker because like you're walking and fucking every fucking time you hit your foot,
Yeah.
it would be like,
God, I don't miss that at all.
Yeah, well, and what was awesome is like you had those things that had like anti-shock on them. Them
Oh, yeah.
motherfuckers never worked.
Never.
What
Never in a million years.
What a load of bullshit.
I
those
probably
were
went
like,
through 5 Walkmans between
Nice.
like middle school when I started really listening to music until like high school when I got my iPod like sophomore year. Probably
Yeah.
went through like 5 of them.
Yeah.
Because I just burned those motherfuckers to the ground.
Yep.
Like,
And after a certain point, they just cost like a pittance. Like you just shell out $5 and get like a fucking CD player.
yeah,
there
there
was nothing.
There was chump change.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's right
I had to buy a new iPod last year. Let me tell you how much that cost me.
fucking $12,000.
I don't know how you
to
know that's
use your
insane.
fucking phone.
That's so ridiculous. Like
Yeah.
the amount of money that people spend on like the iPhone.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Blows my mind.
There's iPhones and shit. They're like $300, $400.
Oh yeah.
Well, and the crazy thing is, I don't even have like an absurd amount of Apple loyalty, which is like there's no MP3 player on the market that has as much space as iPods. Like that's just
Right.
the bottom line. And because I guess smaller music collections are all the rage now, you know, iPods and iPhones and all this shit just have like 32, 64
everything.
max. Whereas I've got, you know, like 120 gigs of music or whatever. My only option is an iPod Classic, which, you know, happens to be god awful expensive.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not ideal, but
Because the classic.
that's what I'm stuck with. Either that or buying like several little MP3 players
And
and
then-
like carrying them in a little bag in my pocket. Like, oh, I want to listen to A through C today.
You're that guy.
And then on an offshoot of that, like because I also work at Target, which
2 jobs.
Yeah.
I was
This guy works harder
I was
than any
at
of
Target
us.
yesterday.
dude,
I had to buy the
let me tell you
Timberlake
something.
CD.
I could talk for 2.5 hours on that shit.
About
Like,
fucking Target, man.
But,
Fucking stainless steel frames.
no.
God fucking damn it.
Right, and assholes, a whole lot of them. But what you
Shout out
see
to Target.
Shout
Yeah.
out to Target.
Today's plug of the week.
God help me if I ever try to get advertising.
Please give me hours. I need to make rent.
So Target.
But yes,
Buy
what
a
you
make
see
your own
also-
soda maker today.
In terms of expensive, like pointlessly expensive things,
Yeah.
those like super expensive like Beats headphones.
Yeah.
But, like, and I get it's studio quality, but like you're jogging or you're walking to class. Do you really need studio quality headphones for $250?
It's
Well, yeah,
funny.
and there's so many other brands that have the same sound quality that are like
Oh, sure,
half
of
the
course.
price of these.
But because
It
it's
can take more of a
produced
beating.
and made
Yeah.
by Dre,
It's Beats by Dre, and
right?
that's
yeah.
why it's
And
double the price.
Dude's a phenomenal producer, but
Yeah.
just because you stick your name on a headphone, that somehow makes it you're entitled to $250.
It does.
Can
apparently.
I
'Cause
be
people
the
eat
guy?
that shit up.
Can I be the guy that I have to exist in the world? If I were in his position, I'd totally do that shit.
Oh no!
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Beats
course.
by Sparkman, all up in this.
Well, it's
bitch.
the whole
Give
idea
me
that they're
all of your
buying
money.
they're buying the image,
Exactly.
not necessarily
Well,
the
that's
product.
just capitalism. Right?
Yes, it is.
I don't
I am
think,
a capitalist at heart.
I don't
if
think anyone's
anything
hating
else.
on Dre. I think we're hating on the consumer in this.
Yeah.
case.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
you should
right.
know better than to buy this product when you can get the same thing for half the price.
Yeah.
Well, and a lot of people, they don't know that because
Oh, yeah.
when you look at the actual like sound quality for Beats by Dre, all they've done is they've increased the volume and the quality in a lot of the lower wavelengths, so the bass is very much more prevalent. Which is why when I listen to beats by out of the fucking headphones, the Dre headphones, I fucking love it because you can ask anybody at this table. I love me some bass. Like I love wub-wubs. I love bass and fucking rock. I love bass and pop. Seriously, like anytime there's a song, I have to turn the bass up because I really like the just rhythm. I like
it makes shaking your car.
I love shaking my fucking car and I love shaking my fucking ass. I can't stop it.
You just straight up gangster.
I am, and I assume that's why the cops
like
fucking hate me in
Cyrus
this
over
town.
here.
God damn. Have I ever talked about the cops on this show?
All
I don't know if
fucking-
we talked about that. But
Oh
we
my
should
God.
make it a point to
talk
address
about
it.
Okay, so the cops and how they hate me.
Shout out to Springfield
God.
Cops.
Shout out to Springfield Cops. Woo, don't arrest
Plug of
me.
the week.
So
I'll stop.
this didn't happen.
Officer 2115, we love you.
This started happening right around the time that I got my DUI, which I was cleared of all charges. I did not drive drunk. Fuck everybody.
Congrats.
Congrats, you're that asshole.
I'm happy for you.
You didn't drive drunk, or you weren't convicted of it.
I got
Same thing.
That is the big difference.
I was driving under the legal limit and hit the legal limit while at the police station.
Huh? How about that?
Yeah.
I mean, you
So if you'd hustled home, you would have
If,
been
you
fucked.
would have made it home. If I had made it home, I would have probably gotten home right when I hit the legal limit.
right.
Because right before I left, Brandon was there. Right before I
Yeah.
left, I had
You were
taken.
fine.
So
I may or may not have taken like multiple shots.
Playing a dangerous game.
Yeah, exactly.
There may have been a lemon shot for the road.
whenever they gave you the test, you blew over, or you blew.
Whenever on the street, I blew under. But if you blow like within .02, they'll arrest you anyway because you're close enough.
And, they
And you-
test, and then they
Oh,
can
that's
test
true.
you.
Yeah, because the street one isn't courtroom, like they don't
Legit.
allow it. It's not legit because they don't test their breathalyzers regularly.
Right.
But then they take you in, and I shit you not, the machine they use is called the Breathalyzer 5000.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
looked at it and I was like, "Is that its real name?" And the cop was like, "Yeah, it totally is."
I like, it's like a little robot with eyes and everything.
It's
like,
so funny.
You blew a 2.8.
Jesus
it has
Christ.
googly eyes.
Why don't you?
Anyway,
call
so this whole debacle happened, and regardless of whether or not I was or was not drinking and driving.
Are you in court now?
That's just not the point.
It's
of
not
it.
the
Whether
point
or
of the
not
story.
my
Point of the
client
story
was
is
in fact inebriated.
since
We're gonna lose all our viewers.
we totally are.
Get Congress 2016.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking elect me. I don't give a shit. Regardless
put
of
you together.
whether or not that's true, since then I have been inundated with police just in my life. Like it got to the point. Like I've been pulled. Just losing this shit. Okay, I've been pulled over 6 times. I've gotten a ticket 4 times.
And now, this is in the span of how long?
This is in the span of
Like 2 days, man.
No, it's 2 days. I've been pulled over in my car 6 times. I've gotten ticketed 4 times since February, and it's October 1st now. And they were all legitimate reasons. Like it's not like they're seeking out to fucking.
But it
like,
seems like it.
Yeah, it kind of seems like.
You know
it,
what? But like every time you get pulled over, like them motherfuckers were watching me for so long.
Oh,
yeah, they were following me.
You always
fucking,
feel like the victim.
Uh-huh.
You could have been driving 30 miles an hour and over.
Exactly.
Did
And-
I ever tell you a story that I've got that'll make your blood boil? This happened a couple weeks ago.
Hold on.
Yeah,
Hold on,
okay,
wait.
yeah.
I'm excited.
Remind me. Yeah,
I
I'm
got
here.
one after this too. Yeah.
So, anyway, and I will admit, I've always been breaking the law, the tax law. I've always been breaking the tax law
Right.
because my license plates were expired.
I've always been breaking the law. Sorry, the tax law. What did I say?
It's one of those things that's
And then
just
I killed
like
it. Sorry, I killed the prices.
Oh, what did I say? It's one of those things where it's like technically you're breaking the law, but it's like a money thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
Quotas and shit.
it's always been my own fault. I'll admit that. Always been my own fault. But they pulled me over so fucking much, and not even that. Like I've been pulled over 6 times, got ticketed
It's
4.
called the truth.
But I've also like there was a time we live real close to that gas station,
Yeah.
like within walking distance. It takes maybe a minute to walk there.
I walk there.
Yeah, exactly. Brandon just fucking walked there between podcasts. And I was walking back from getting a soda, and there's like an alleyway right there, and at the far end, you have a crossway.
Yeah.
You have that road, and then the road like that takes you down here to the gas station. From that intersection to the front of our house, there was a cop who I assume had been getting gas. He pulled out right when I hit that intersection and came up behind me, and I heard a car, so I moved to the right, like because there's room. to let the car pass, and they didn't. They just kept kind of following me real slow. And I looked behind, there's a fucking cop, and I was like, what the fuck's happening? And I wasn't wearing like hoodlum clothes. I was wearing jeans and my fucking Green Lantern t-shirt, and I had like I had a fucking like soda in my hand. I was just like, what do you fucking want? God damn it! So I just kept walking like to the side, like he had plenty of room to go, and he just kept slowly following me. And I got up the steps, and I went to the door, and I was like, why is this motherfucker following me? And I turned around and I looked at him, and he was stopped. Like he had stopped right there in front of our door with his lights weren't on, but his car was running, and he was stopped, and I couldn't see him because the police windows were tinted. But he just kind of sat there for a minute, and I like stared at him for maybe 10 seconds, and he just kind of slowly pulled away. And I was like, yeah, it's fucking right, you go away. I didn't fucking do anything, and they were just...
That's really sketchy.
Oh.
You should,
he saw me.
Understand it. He saw me.
You should,
yeah, just gonna like flip up my shirt and be like, oh, how you like those, baby?
Well, now, was it a cop or was it one of those rent-a-cop Midwest?
No, it was like a legit cop, like
yeah.
Springfield PD. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck it was. And not even that. It's also been I've come out to my car before with like a cop parked next to it, car on, just sitting there, and like I've gone to the door and been like I've waved to them, been like hi, and they've been like, hey, like real non-committal about it. Which like they're cops, so maybe they're like supposed to be non-committal. I don't know, but and there was another time where I wasn't.
I guess it would be kind of weird for a cop to be like, "Oh, hey there, sport."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
How you doing, buddy?
if they want me to think, like when you're growing up, they're always like, cops are your friends, you know, like be nice to cops because they're there to protect you. And I'm like, okay, but cops have never been nice to me. Like they've always thought that I was a bad kid, and I don't know why. Like I got honored by the fucking Breast Cancer Society for donating money. I'm one of the nicest people in the world, I like to think.
You saved a dude's life once.
I saved a dude's life once. He was seizing on a bench when I was driving home from work, and I was like, oh shit! And I stopped my car, called 911. I got to ride an ambulance. It was
You're an
right.
American hero.
Yeah, it's fucking. I don't know what it
You
is.
should have a medal.
Well, maybe not that.
You're getting fucking patrol raped.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, man.
No, but
Profile. That's the word I wanted.
There you go.
it's interesting that you say that because I come from southeast Kansas, which is not Springfield. Very similar. Springfield is a lot more progressive. Believe it or not, Springfield is a lot more progressive than southeast.
Well, Springfield's like it's a somewhat blue area inside of a vastly red area.
Right,
Yeah.
but my mom, she's in no way. She's in no way Mexican. She has no connections.
I don't know where it's going, but I like it.
No way, Mexican.
I don't know how to describe Latin, but fuck it. I'll just go big air and say
Let's
Mexican.
fucking do this.
But she looks very similar.
Yeah.
So we were riding. There's this same asshole cop. All due respect.
Every time.
Yeah,
It's the same
has
motherfucker.
pulled her over like 3 different times and just like read her the riot act about like going back to her own country. And mom's just like,
What the fuck?
like I live here.
I was born here.
It was crazy. Like the craziest time was we'd had a huge rainstorm, and we live right next to train tracks, and lightning had hit, and so those like the arms were down. Like when people are driving, like if the arms are down, but they've been down for a long time,
You stopped it,
you're not supposed to.
Yeah.
But there was that cop was right there, and he was watching everybody go through.
Yeah.
So we went through the first time, and then we had to backtrack, and we came back, and he pulled us over. He pulled us over and was like, "What do you think you're doing?" Mom's like, "I'm going over the tracks."
Yeah.
And he gave us probably like a 15-minute lecture on it just like not only like lecturing us, but also like asking her questions like, "Do you live here?" Like
looking for a fucking green card.
right, exactly. Do you live here? Having already pulled us over like 3 different times, and I was like, what is your problem? And I don't know why they would do that. Like.
At that point, it kind of sounds like it's broken.
Well, exactly, but I mean, why they pick out certain individuals? Like you have no background of like being. You
are not at all Mexican.
And right. I wouldn't say I have no background of being violent. I did at one point pop a kid's eardrum, but that was in high school, and that's gone from my record.
Exactly.
So
If it's on the record, it didn't happen.
exactly. So
no, it's just weird because. I mean, it's like the cliche: give somebody an inch and they'll take a mile. It's a sense of authority that they take way too far,
And
way
only
too
sometimes.
seriously. And only sometimes because
It's not every cop. By any means.
No.
Yeah.
And
That one
It-
asshole.
if I may, there's an example of I don't know how much I can get into. It's fairly personal, but
However much you want to. It's not a huge deal.
suffice it to say that there's like some really heavy shit going down with the family that we are required to be monitored. No, thank you. We're required to be monitored by not ATF, but
Wait.
You want me to give the term you told me?
yes,
Wait.
Shadow people?
shadow people.
This
This
did you show up at his house the one time when I was hanging out with him?
Probably yes. You know what? Fuck
That's
it.
no, don't say it.
Don't.
Because you don't need to.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
But basically,
And I won't-
it's,
I won't play
no,
with
you're
it.
fine. I'm totally safe.
Oh,
But
okay.
It's
He is.
Okay.
U.S. Marshals.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
We're, like our family, for whatever reasons,
Stuff happens.
mystery.
Stuff happens.
Intrigue.
We are surrounded. Not me, but my family back home is surrounded at all times by U.S. Marshals.
Mhm.
Super fucking effective at their jobs. Super nice. Like they are they are the dudes that you.
They're the
Picture-
people why you pay tax dollars.
Exactly.
They're
Yeah.
the cops
They'll-
that they always tell you be nice to these cops.
Exactly. Like you be nice to these cops because these are the cops that are worth their salt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's incredible what they've done, and if any of you are listening, shadow people, thank you.
Shout out to them.
But yeah, it's interesting how whenever you have a little bit of power, like local cops, not all
Yeah.
of them, you can take it to a bad extreme. But whenever you have a ton more power,
Like that.
well, U.S. Marshals compared to Springfield cops, are
Oh,
just
yeah.
like what? They don't abuse it. They don't, and they could listen in on anything that I'm saying right now.
They could literally be like monitoring it.
Yeah. Oh,
Right.
this-
Fucking
There's
now.
actually one standing in the corner right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
it's like
He's
right
hanging
there.
out.
All of our
Sarah, why are
followers.
you here?
No, I'll probably be kidnapped. As soon as I leave, like, what the fuck did you say? I'm sorry.
It'll be up in like a day and a half. Just calm down.
They can edit. You guys
Just come
can't
down here
edit.
and put a bullet in my computer.
Exactly.
I was like, no, that's the first podcast. That was
Damn it.
It's like it never happened. So my cop story. This is great.
Yeah.
You'll love this
I like
because
Yeah, this
because
episode's now become
you
cops.
you've
No,
been,
I'm fine with it.
Let's
since-
let's just do it.
Yeah.
since they've been harassing you so hard. This is a good
I'm kind of excited. Yeah.
I've been ticketed for speeding twice in my life, and they were both deserved. I wouldn't fight those. I took them like a man. I was at work.
you
a
kind
couple-
of have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
for
like I
speeding,
didn't
you're
go in
speeding,
front of the judge and was like, I wasn't speeding, dude. I want like a fucking.
I don't know what this guy was talking about.
Yeah.
So I was at work like 2 months ago doing pizza delivery again, and I'm coming back from a run, and it's late and we're busy, so I'm trying to hustle back. Coming down this road that's got a big ass hill on it, so I take the hill, going full speed. I probably hit 13 or 14 over. As I'm heading down the bottom of the hill, I see a cop parked right over there.
Oh shit.
I got my Pizza Hut topper on,
Yeah.
so sometimes it's like, oh, I'm police proof because they're like, oh, just let him go because he's doing his job.
Like the
but,
domino
but sometimes they're like, send a message.
Yeah.
Send him.
They're endangering lives.
But my first boss at my first pizza place told me, if you ever think you're totally boned by the cops, wave at them, just because it might work. So like, no, follow me.
where this is going.
Yeah.
So I pump the brakes a little bit.
Am I about to hate you?
Like so often happens with police, I'm sure, is they see people around the corner, they're like, shit, and
Yeah.
cut their speed.
Yeah,
10
and
miles.
that's when they pull you over.
Yeah.
So
So
they pull you over when they know you were
Yeah.
speeding.
So I know
Because that's
I know
something.
he's got me. So I start
Yeah.
tapping my brakes a little because I know I need to slow down. Pop my hand out the window, I give him a little wave, and as I drive past, he like waves at me, and I just keep fucking going.
Horse shit! Horse shit! God fucking damn it!
Bravo.
Did you make the delivery?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I got back to the store in like 3 more minutes.
So I got a quick question.
New strategy.
I got a quick question because
Fucking dumb.
cop cars go on patrol. Have you ever gotten a call to a cop car at a patrol? Being like, you can find me in the car. At this
No, like
and this."
when they park
not.
like opposite each other when they're like clearly just talking.
Yeah.
I
would deliver
I've never
that.
done that.
I'd be like,
I didn't
call
know
it
if that
in,
was
man.
even
Let's
like a
do it.
possibility.
Call
But
it
no,
in.
I was certain I was dead in the water. I was like,
Yeah.
this is my speeding ticket right here.
Yeah.
It would
This
have been my
is
first
number
one working
3.
delivery. I've actually worked pizza delivery for almost 3 years, and I've never been ticketed on the job.
That's
Nice. What do you do
I was sure I was gonna take
in
one.
the event
Dude
that
just
you
fucking
get
waves.
in the event that you get ticketed? Do you get like in trouble at work?
The only reason I would get in trouble at work is because it'd be like, why did it take you like 30 minutes longer?
so only if it was like a long time.
Yeah, they wouldn't give a shit. I could even go back to work and just not even tell them I got a ticket.
Do they pay for your tickets?
So, what do they feel about
That would be awesome,
DWIs?
That's probably a problem.
That's probably,
As in most
probably
cases.
And if traffic offenses become like a major
like you
repeated
constantly
thing, like if I'm getting a speeding ticket every other week, then they're probably going to let me go because of
Yeah.
liability.
Yeah.
You'll be promoted to patron.
But I mean,
there you go.
everyone who works delivery, I mean, I'm probably one of the only guys in my store that hasn't been ticketed on the job. I mean, it's basically a rite of passage, the same way so many other things in pizza delivery are. So,
Dude, I bet
it happens to a lot of people, and if you can easily just come back into the store and just not mention it, unless someone's like, "Why did it take you so long to get back?"
I got
fucking ticket.
But they'd never know. Now a DUI or something
That might get back to him.
Luckily, no one at this table has been convicted of a DUI.
That's correct.
Jake, why do you mention DUI?
Shut up. I've never even been guilty of anything other than speeding. I actually got in a traffic accident when I was 16 or 17.
Oh, when it thrashed your fucking...
Yeah, I was driving a Buick LeSabre, which was a fucking tank of a car. And I'm pulling out from this intersection. This lady comes flying in front of me in like this brand new like Ford Focus or some shit. And I just T-boned the shit out of the thing. I didn't see it coming because there was a big bush over here, so I couldn't really see past it. So I think I've got it clear, so I pull it out and just boom.
It literally,
smack right
like,
into
I know the intersection it happened at. It literally is one of those intersections where you just have to fucking go.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way you can.
Well,
just
I did try to fight that. We actually hired like a traffic attorney or whatever, and it worked to an extent. But no, I thrashed the fuck out of her car. Like she like spun a little bit and then pulled into a parking lot. Her car was completely totaled.
Damn.
I bent my front bumper a little bit and cracked the headlight.
Sounds about
That
right.
is it.
And his license
yeah,
plate
My front
was-
license plate was fucked.
Yeah,
but that's it.
He brought it in a newspaper like the next week or something. It was just like bent to shit. And he was like, I'm keeping the fuck out of this.
I still got that in my
God
basement.
damn it.
That's awesome.
But no, so I would have gotten like I got a ticket for reckless driving or whatever the fuck they wanted to throw that out. But the traffic attorney we got was all like, that intersection's totally unsafe, yada yada yada, and they got the offense removed from my record. So technically that never happened, and that lady didn't get a new car on my insurance.
Exactly.
It's weird what they can do in terms of like taking or removing shit off your record. I was pulled over. This was some fucking bullshit.
Let me tell you.
Yeah, let me tell you,
It does not happen.
Yeah,
This didn't happen at all.
it didn't. No,
Theoretically.
I was pulled over. God, I just gotten my license actually, which is so cliche, right?
No, yeah.
But I was driving.
Justin's dad, he used to work at the movie theater I worked at. Yeah. He would work on Fridays and Saturdays as the security guard.
Yeah.
Right.
He actually told me that, and this makes a whole lot of fucking sense, like if you even think about it for a second, but like 70 or 80%, something like that, of traffic accidents, traffic tickets, stuff like that, are from like 16, 17-year-old people who've just gotten their license. And it's not because they're like malicious in anything, it's just because they haven't learned yet how to drive.
You haven't learned the number one rule of driving, which is that assume everyone else on the road is trying to kill you.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, this was,
I'm a really good driver now because I take that rule to heart. And every intersection I'm at, I'm like, that guy could run into me, that guy could run into me, that guy could run into me. I'm going to let all of them go.
Yes, parked car could run. No, but this was like at 1 a.m. in Bronson, Kansas, which is like a population.
Bumfuck nothing.
Exactly.
It's like Point, Iowa.
There's more meth in the town than there is.
Yeah?
And I speak
You,
that
can you bring that up on the map question?
Oh, no, sorry.
No, but so I'm coming back from a friend's house at 1 a.m., which 1 a.m. in Bronson is fairly shady, but there's not a lot going on outside of closed doors.
Yeah.
And I'm driving this jank-ass 91 Chevy pickup. And I turn.
Does it like do that weird like the clicking?
No, what,
Does it pick up like a Disney jalopy? Like,
no. What would happen is like the door would just randomly fly open at some.
What the fuck?
Yeah, dude, it was a fucking.
That
death
sounds
trap.
unsafe.
that's scary.
It was a thrill ride.
I'm trying to imagine someone flying in their first airplane and they've got a door that just occasionally swings open.
Right.
Like, oh shit!
Oh, gotta close that.
So like,
Almost flew out again.
no, that really, I was like, oh, but it's 1 a.m. and I'm going down the street, and it's 1 a.m.
Yeah.
I'm going like 30. It's a residential district.
Like a desolate fucking.
Yeah, I mean, there's houses and like a cow. And
in front of a house.
Right,
even.
just hanging out. So I turn
fake
left
cow.
I turn left onto the street, and my fucking tune's going, and like from the distance, I see these guys' lights come on, and I was like, oh shit, who's he pulling over?
Fucker.
So, I
Just
pull
no one else on the road.
He pulling over me, and I'm like, what the fuck? And he gets out, and he's like, you know why I pulled you over?
Fuck no, I don't.
Did you see my door swing? I mean,
Shit, what I say.
Started doing the liar, but no. But I was like, no, I don't. Was I speeding? He's like, yeah, you were going 31, and I was like,
Are you serious?
It's 30. And he was like, no. The street that I clocked you at, it's 20. So he pulled me over on a street that I was not speeding on. Because, technically on that street I was speeding because the street he pulled me over.
Was it like an intersection?
Was the 30. No, it wasn't. It was like.
Was it the turn, literally?
It was like I was going down this street. I turned left. That street that I was going down was a 20. And then I turned, and he pulled me down like 3/4 of the way down that road that I turned on.
So like he took a minute to be like, can I get away with this?
Exactly. And so he pulled me over where the speed limit was 30. So technically, yes, I was speeding one over on that road, but he taken me for the street where it was 20.
Shit.
And I was like, what the fuck? And then also, I had just gotten my license, and my dad hadn't gotten me registration or insurance.
No.
I had just gotten insurance the day of, so I didn't have it.
Yeah.
And I was
But
like,
you were like, listen,
shit got balls.
Yeah. Luckily, that kind of shit, like I got out of a ticket for that. If you don't have your insurance on you, you can actually just take it to the court.
Yeah.
And be like,
Yeah.
insurance right here.
that happened to me my
Alright,
second time I got
cool.
pulled over.
Yeah.
That's where I was going. Was we went to Bronson, Kansas, kangaroo
Again.
court. Which was so great.
Did you say kangaroo?
Oh, totally. It was terrific, man. It was terrific.
Like it was like they had like a play place, like
Well,
inside the
yeah,
court.
no, yeah. they
Court
had-
starts and someone
There's
goes,
a little ball pit in the back.
It was great. Like people. There was a dude that was fighting a left of center.
There's a cartoon
Violation.
kangaroo.
oh, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, like how do you
All right.
Why would you even bother fighting you?
So I get in there, and I'd never been pulled over before, so I brought my dad with me.
Yeah.
And we like showed him all the shit that I didn't have at the time that I did.
Yeah.
Then, yeah.
So they dropped all of the charges. I was brought up on charges. The charges for like the
The speeding.
no, not the speeding. The
That I say
lack of
quotes.
registration,
Oh.
insurance, and all that stuff. And they, instead of giving me a speeding violation, they just, I don't know how they do this, but they knocked it down to a parking violation and doubled the fine.
What the fuck?
Correct. That's my correct.
You're right.
I thought they were gonna be like, here's a lollipop.
Right.
The way you were
But
talking.
I was like, okay, that's awesome because it's not a moving violation. But like,
But-
what kind of like, how do you get that power? Like, what arbitrary person gets that
Why
power?
don't you
Like,
just say we're only going to charge you this much money instead of this much, instead of completely changing whatever?
yeah, it was so weird.
And I'm sure it was one of those things like, we're doing you a favor. There's less points on your license. You're like, that's not the fucking problem.
Yeah.
The problem is you double my fucking fine.
Yeah, I was like, this is confusing. And then
At least.
feasibly, I could have fought it because the cop is a prick. Like, he's super prick. But Dad was
You were like 16,
Super
17.
prick, the
Yeah.
arch villain of Judge Kangaroo.
Dad was just like, he was just like, yeah, let's just get the fuck out of here.
Oh, fuck
So,
this.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I got two for you real quick.
Yeah.
One's short because you brought this up when you said I went to my car and the cop was like right next to it.
He wasn't just sitting
No,
there.
no, no. Me and a bunch of my friends, we were working at Tent Theater, which is like on campus during the summer, and none of us want to buy parking passes for the
Oh,
summer.
hell no.
Yeah.
It's fucking not. It's like $40 fucking.
Yeah.
No, for the year, it's like 70.
Yeah, fuck, it's
yeah.
ridiculous.
Shout out to MSU parking. Fuck you guys.
Plug of the week.
Stop building fucking.
All due respect.
Stop building
So,
dorm housing. Build parking.
We all find out that we're allowed to park at the church, like right across the street. It's a little bit of a walk, but not really. So we're like, well, we're all going to park there. So all of us did. So it's been a long day. It's like Thursday. So we're all exhausted. We're all walking. We're like, man, think tomorrow's going to be short? Nope. All right.
It's one of those. Take fucking theater. It's never short.
It's one of those conversations, and we're all just like, oh man, I'm so glad the days, we're almost to the weekend, just want to like those exhausted talks. And we look up, and there's just a cop car sitting in this lot with all of our cars.
Oh,
and
Wait, like in the middle of it, just like all of these cars are mine.
Well, like,
twirling his mustache.
it's like he's taking up like 4 spots in this lot because
Jesus
no one is
Christ.
there except us.
Yeah.
And maybe like the one person who cleans the church.
Yeah.
And so we're all walking in, and we slowly start walking like much slower, going, oh God, are we all
ticketed?
ticketed?
We're going to jail.
And so we all
Parking jail.
And so a couple of us are starting to be
Very nice.
starting to like freak out, and then I'm just like, no. I've seen this before in acting. It's all in the confidence game.
You're right.
It is.
So no, wait. I saw this on NYPD Blue.
Fake it till you make it.
And so they're like, you serious? I'm like, what do we have to lose? And we
What
walked up.
other choice do we have?
Walked up to the car. Like I walked up to my car. I'm like, there better not be a ticket here, and there wasn't. And so I just get in my car and I started, and I backed out the slowest I've ever backed out.
Yeah.
And then I pull away really slow.
Hyper aware.
I
of
make a
everything.
perfect right turn onto the street.
which you hadn't done in years.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
of
You're
course.
just like clipping the fucking curve.
Yeah,
Of
you like
course.
fucking use your blinker. and
Hitting
shit.
like kids
Oh,
on the
absolutely.
sidewalk, whatever.
And so that's the first one. Just it's one of those like.
Yeah.
The other one, I actually saw Andrew after this. It was my first time going through a police checkpoint.
Never done.
Oh shit, they're
So
terrifying.
I went to
God.
two good friends of mine they were both celebrating like their anniversaries and one big gala party, whatever, in this one person's house, way out in the middle of like bumfuck nowhere.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun, but it was like I told Andrew and a bunch of friends of ours that I'd try and meet them for a midnight movie. And so I'm like, well, it's about like 11:45.
Was this Mean Girls?
This was Mean Girls, yeah. And so
I'm invested.
they're all just, so I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna get going. And like 5 minutes prior to me leaving, someone had gone around being like, just a heads up, gang. Someone went through this one road.
Checkpoint.
There's a checkpoint. And I'm like, all right. So my girlfriend asked if I was gonna be all right, and I said, I'm gonna be fine. I'm gonna go through it. And she's like, why? And I'm like, because I had to follow someone to get here.
Yeah.
I only know this one
I
path.
can't do anything
I
else.
can't do anything else, and I guarantee you I'm fine.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't be. My philosophy is if I don't think I'm not good to drive, then I'm gone.
Yeah, you're not good to drive.
I am gone. If I say I can drive, I can drive. And so I get on the road and I'm just like, and literally I'm going through the. All right, I think I turned left here. Like I'm going through all here, and for some reason then I start pulling up and it's all like one lane only. Like I see this, I'm like, all right, and then I see it. For some reason, it's at the school that's out there. It's like Central or something. I don't know. And it's just, and I see this one street that's connected to our intersection, but isn't connected to like the checkpoint. And there's like 9 cars. Yeah. I'm just like, what? And so I finally pull up and like there's one guy right in front of me, and then the cop's like in the middle of the road being like, oh, slow down.
He's like, hold on
Yeah.
there. But even though
Like-
he's doing like 3 fucking miles
Like
an hour.
if we were on horses,
Yeah.
it'd be like that. Whoa, Bessie, one
Yeah.
of those.
Yeah.
And so we slow down, and I'm just like, this is the checkpoint. Are they? And when I see it's a checkpoint, my first thought is like, was there like a rapist in the high school right
what
there?
the fuck happened?
Was that?
Well,
is that why we're having it?
He's
I
like,
mean,
well, while we're here, might as well set up and check.
I'm guessing it was Friday. I mean, this was the weirdest, if not that
Oh,
case.
It's,
Well, force is already out here.
literally, it's one of those things where it's like 2 cops parked next to each other, like, you want to set up a checkpoint? Let's set up a checkpoint, yeah.
Well, like, unless something weird was
Exactly.
going on at the school, this is the weirdest spot for a checkpoint
Right.
because there's nothing close by it. The only reason I went on this road is because that's how I knew how to get to here.
Yeah.
So the guy, I rolled out my window because, the guy's like, hold on, and it starts walking towards me. So I'm
Hold
like,
on 1 second,
Hold on
sir.
there, Bessie. Yeah. So I rolled down. I'm like, hi, what's going on? He's like, we have a checkpoint. Can I see your license? And I was like, yeah, sure.
Certainly may.
Sweet, now if I die, I'll respawn here.
Nice.
So I'm pulling out my license, and just because this is me, I just go, is everything all right? Like, I've never seen a checkpoint
Yeah.
before.
Is everything?
I'm assuming something bad is happening.
Yeah.
There's a checkpoint, so I'm like, is everything going all right? And he just goes, yes, there is. I'm like, oh, okay. So
Fair enough.
I hand him my license. He's like, you had a couple drinks? I'm like, I've had 1 or 2, but like, and he's like, how long ago? I'm like, about half an hour ago, because that was the truth.
Yeah.
And he just looks at me, kind of giving me that, like just looking at
Am
me.
I about to punch you in the face
Shameful
because this is
disdain.
another unfair story?
No.
Oh, okay.
The only thought going through my head is just like, something wrong must have happened.
Yeah.
There's a checkpoint.
Something must have gone wrong here.
And so finally he's just like, all right, as you were. I was like, all right, thank you, officer. And I never say that phrase.
It's horse shit.
I never say the phrase thank you, officer. I'm just like, all right,
No, I'm all.
I
I
never
never just waved at it.
Yeah, it's honestly just the
like stone face and just be like,
Bringing it around.
just wave.
So I put the license away, I put it in my pocket, and I very slowly drive off. And because this road goes forever,
Oh,
I
another
see them
video.
in the back the whole time going, how far do I have to go on this road until I can't see them?
Yeah.
And then, I finally pull off, and I'm just like, and what was that about? And then finally it was one of those, like, I get back to my clock, and I'm like, oh shoot, I might not make it to the theater in time.
Oh my god, I need a beer.
Yeah.
Good thing I didn't find
last
these.
podcast didn't have it.
Literally just like a 12 pack
just-
in the passenger seat covered by a jacket.
Because, like, it's just one of those thoughts, like, the whole time I'm going, I'm just like, should you be busy with me when you've clearly set this up?
Yeah.
Like, there was one other time, I think I just came back from Barcade after hanging out with you and meeting Sonya, I think.
Yeah. It was our first date.
I think it was our first, I think it was your first date. I think it was our
When I
first
drove
date.
her drunk ass home.
Attaboy.
God.
So,
Good for you.
Young love.
so like,
Ugh.
I'm going back down to my house, and there's almost no one on the road, like on the street that I'm taking, and I'm going the speed limit, and then I get to the light, and it's like after midnight, so the lights are like flashing,
Yeah.
and I look behind me, and I'm
I
like,
love
there's
those
a cop behind me.
Yeah,
And right there. Like,
And
pull
so-
up right behind you.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
right, like I'm surprised it's
Like,
not like
riding
touching
your
my
fucking
car.
ass.
Yeah.
He was
So-
he was checking your license plate.
So I'm just kind of like, what? And so especially because like at the intersection I'm at, like a block away is my house.
Yeah.
So I stop at the
Shit.
red light. I go through. There's no cars on this
Yeah.
intersection. So I pull through. Lights flare up, and I just
The
went, "Are you
fuck?
serious?" I waited like a good 2 seconds.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
did.
And then he pulls up. He's just like, license registration. I'm just like, all right, here you go. And by
the
this,
fuck did I
the
do?
only thought in my head is just like, are you serious?
Yeah.
Come the
That
fuck
thought is
on.
going through my head
Yep.
all the time.
Yeah.
He's just like, you had a beer? And I'm like, I've had one beer, sir. Because honestly, I really didn't drink that
That's what
much.
I
at
said.
that one. Yeah. I know you had, but it was just like, I've had one. He's just like, really? And I'm like, yes, I have. And I had it, and I didn't say it with that tone, but it's
Yeah,
like,
you
I'm
were
saying
like-
it in my head.
You're
like,
like, have you had one beer, sir? And you're like, yes, I have one. I
yeah.
have one
You
beer,
say
sir.
it calm and collected because that's what theater teaches
Well,
you.
Yes,
You
sir.
did.
By the way, sir.
I say whenever they rolled out, whenever.
What seems to be the officer problem?
No. Whenever I rolled out my window, they're like, "Can I have license registration?" I'm like, "Absolutely." Fucking get out of my
Yeah.
pocket wallet, and
Yeah.
it's like, "Sir,
I'm super paranoid about that shit.
Yeah.
And it's
Oh,
not
totally.
like it's not that I know that I've done anything. Like I'm not a felon, but whenever I see those license, I'm like
Fun fact.
Dude, totally, yeah.
I
No,
always
my-
think they're gonna find
my
some really
heart-
convoluted reason to
I've had
arrest
a
me.
cop ask me why
Last-
I was nervous. He's like,
You're a cop.
I'm nervous because I think I'm about to lose $200, officer,
fun fact."
and
of
I
the
have to
day,
pay rent tomorrow.
I failed one test on the field sobriety test, and it was the one I always fucking knew I would fail. It's the one where you have to raise your foot up 6 inches and stand there. And I have shitty fucking back. Like, I'm a fucking klutz. And I knew as soon as he said it, I was like, I'm gonna fail this. I'm gonna
done.
fall on my fucking face. And it was like icy on the ground too, and I was like, God fucking damn it. And
Can
I did it, and I was
ask
like
for, another
wobbling.
one? Can I
That's
have another
suspicious as
sobriety
shit.
test, officer?
No, like the entire time, like I was like shaking, handing my fucking license because I was like, I don't want to go to fucking jail.
Yeah.
Just
and
I'm gonna give you a heads up. I'm gonna need a retry, officer. Because that's always good.
How many
I get
strikes
a-
do
no,
I
no,
get?
Let me
no,
finish up
no.
mine real quick.
Can I get
It's
a-
almost
Okay,
over.
yeah, go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
It's almost over. So the guy pulls out the flashlight
yeah, he does.
to check
like,
my
check your
eyes,
be like,
and he goes, follow the light with your eyes. I'm like, fine. And I feel like I tried
Yeah.
acting, like being the whole calm and collected, but I am so ticked off by this point. I feel like I was just glaring at
Yeah,
this
just-
flashlight, just
Fuck you, flashlight.
looking at it, and finally he just goes, and he goes, where do you live? And I'm like, I'm about a block
Right
right there,
there.
officer. You could follow, and I might have said like,
We're
you can
pulled
follow
over
me
right
if
in
you
front of my
like.
house.
Yeah. Literally just here.
I am right there, officer. And he gives me this like long pause, and the whole time I'm just all of these thoughts in my head are going, really, really?
Come the fuck on.
I
I've been
live
in.
right fucking there.
I've
Yeah.
been in Springfield on these nights. There are other people you need to go
Much
after.
worse people.
Not me.
Literally 95% of the population of this city cannot drive, officer. And you're
Yeah.
pulling
When
down
they're
the-
sober, not when they're drunk.
sober. That guy right there, you see him?
Like flies past you doing
Oh, totally.
50.
It's like some guy walking his dog.
Yeah.
Like, I bet he can't drive.
So after this long pause, he just goes, all right. And he gives me the license, and I'm like, okay. And I flip my window, and I make the turn right there.
right.
And I wait a while to see if he's going to follow me. And then I pull in my driveway, and I'm sure I got someone's attention because it's my old house was on Party Central. And I just yelled, really?
Pulled in my driveway, and I uncontrollably sobbed.
Why? And that's the end of that
Makes,
story.
I'd like to. You said
Oh,
parking.
Yes.
Parking. Jesus Christ, downtown.
Oh,
Well, you fucking work downtown. Like, you have
Right.
to go to a job.
Exactly. And where I work, there is no parking.
No,
for
there's no
stick it.
reserve.
There's
It's
none.
true. I've tried to go to stick it a couple times, but I was like, I don't want to
Those
park. Fuck
Yeah.
those people, because there's a lot right behind that.
Which
That's
is not
ours.
for stick it.
It is for YMCA, and those motherfuckers are the biggest assholes.
Yes,
that I've
they
ever
are.
met.
They are.
I parked there for a year, and then one day I pulled in. I was working like a 1 to 6 shift, and this dude just comes in and he's like, "What are you doing? You going to the Y?" And I was like, "No, I'm going to work." He's like, "Nope, can't do that. This is for YMCA." And he sounds like,
Well, it's fucking. It's like Southern Missouri.
Right,
Right.
right.
You get the fucking hick
Yeah.
tone.
this is for YMCA personnel only. It's like,
Like,
well,
this
I've
is
been
for
parking-
why you go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I
That's
was
what
like-
it's for.
I was like, dude, I've been parking here for a year. He's like, well, I can get my manager. I was like, okay, let's do it. You know what?
I'll fist fight any motherfucker.
Because, like,
Do this. Escalate.
the biggest annoyance for me, aside from stupidity, is inconvenience. And
Yes.
this person is not only inconveniencing my time, but my patience as well. Because it's pointless. Like, if the lot had been completely full, then like, okay.
Then I get it. Yeah.
But there was spaces, man.
Dude,
No
the
one
ones-
fucking goes to the line.
No, they don't. That fucking parking lot, I've never seen it even
Right.
half full.
Exactly.
Never.
On like early mornings sometimes, but like on Friday afternoon, dude, people are not going
Either
to why they're
at
fucking eating
work
lunch.
or getting ready
Exactly.
for fucking going out.
And
For
so
the
he,
night, yeah.
like he brought his manager out, and I was like, dude, I'm not trying to be a
Yeah.
dick, but I've been here for a year. They threatened to tow me. I was like, fuck you guys. Like I went like 40 steps diagonally right next to where Funtiques is.
Yeah.
Where Funtiques is.
I know
and,
that,
yeah,
yeah.
and there's like that old bank that used to be
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Those lots are always open.
Oh,
But I was
always.
like, come on, like they have a dude that sits out there and watches that lot to make sure that you are from the Y. And I was just like, I was walking back and like, I showed him my wiener.
Or just like plopped it out, be like, yeah, fucking
now-
right there,
you know
dicks.
what?
YMCA
Now you have
this,
something.
bitch.
Yeah, it's like now you have something to bitch about. Oh, it was
Now I've
ridiculous.
sexually harassed you.
Right.
Fucking deal with it.
Arrest me for that, fuckers.
Come on, like what the fuck, man?
If you're gonna ride my dick, you should at least see it first.
You
Boom.
mentioned that. So this is a different kind of inconvenience. This was more like a I don't want to get stabbed inconvenience.
Yeah,
Bitch,
no,
that's
wait,
not
wait.
an inconvenience. That's
Yeah.
a life-threatening
I
situation.
believe that merits slightly more
Oh
than
no, I've
inconvenience.
been stabbed.
I wasn't
this
a
is
part of
quite
it.
inconvenient.
This is quite inconvenient
Did you
for
guys
me.
not think that when that?
Yeah,
When I get stabbed,
I've never been
I
like
believe-
in a situation where I was gonna get stabbed.
Correct.
Well, it wasn't that. It was one of those like I got very nervous by what
Okay,
happened.
okay.
So I ended up parking in. We all have our secret lots downtown. To
Yeah,
park.
everybody.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
And so I parked there, and I ended up going because a good friend of ours, Mark, was in town for the day, and everyone was going to 1984, and so I was like, oh, awesome. So we all went. We had a good time. It's about
Oh
the
wait,
time
was this
that
the like recently?
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So we're all like, all right, it's time to go. So we take off because all of us kind of got to get going in our own places. And me, Ian, and Mark are just kind of walking the block until we run out of procrastination time.
Yeah.
And this woman, she looks very much like the stereotype of homeless. She just walks up. She's like, "Any of you guys can spare some change?"
One of
And
the 4 homeless people in Springfield.
right. So she comes up. She's
No
like,
doubt.
"Can any of you guys spare some change for the bus?" And I said, "No, ma'am. I'm sorry. I spent it all on pinball."
like,
she's like, that's the worst fucking
Just
excuse
like,
I've ever
you're
heard.
a motherfucker.
just like that
How-
is great because there's no way that chick believed you. Anyway.
No, she was like, this guy's a fucking liar.
She stopped into that woman pose where the legs out. She's like, "For real?" Like that look.
She's the.
She gave it, and she was white. She was dirty, but she was white.
You can see the white through the
And
grime.
And so she just that sounds awful.
I know.
She
It's okay.
No.
and she gives me that look like seriously, and I said, "I'm sorry, man. We actually just came from 1984. Like we had like the little receipts
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff." to
You
prove
probably
it."
shouldn't
Here,
ask for
look,
change
right.
outside of an arcade.
Yeah. It's probably bad news.
And she stopped and she just goes, "Oh, I thought that place goes down." I'm like, "No, it's right there. You
Fuck,
can
no,
see
it
people
didn't.
right there."
Go
And
fucking
she-
look at it.
And she looked like she started looking at it, and that was my whole like, "I'm gonna
Just
Yeah.
fucking walk
away.
on, man.
I'm not
And
gonna
so-
wait.
I'm not obligated to stand here.
So I hang out with Mark and Ian a bit more, and then finally like, all right, we gotta go. So I start walking to take the path to my secret lot. I say with, So I start
What
walking.
if like fucking like 120 other people fucking use? Just...
Yeah, honestly, yeah. So I walk to it, and then I as I make the turn into like, I have to walk like down like a little bit of an alley to get to it, and like,
Is it one of the rape alleys?
no,
Oh, okay.
Oh, there's a lot
it's
of-
the lead
Oh,
into
yeah.
one, but like the
fucking
lot's right
fire
before that.
escape things. Oh,
The lot's
God.
like right before that.
Yeah.
So as I make the turn, I see like 20 to 30 feet in front of me is this woman And she's walking in front of me like she's going that direction. I'm like, oh, okay.
In the same direction you're going?
Yeah, like she, so she doesn't see me, and then she sees some other guy, and she yells something that I was. If you've seen the Donald Glover stand-up bit, and his whole thing where he sees like two kids and one of them yells like something very profane.
That's why your mom's in a wheelchair.
Yeah, and he makes the noise like, whoa! She said something of that.
I'm sorry, this child is the devil.
This child is the devil. We'll just take him out of here.
She says this to this random guy like that I haven't seen, and she just yells something of that level. Like in my head, I go, ah!
Yeah.
So I literally turn around and walk away.
Do you remember what she said?
Oh, I do, but I'm not going to say it because I feel like I have to take 3 showers. It involved the C word.
Oh, shit. All right.
And then added on to it.
Oh, damn. All right.
So she starts yelling at this guy that, and inconveniently enough, it's right in front of like the parking lot entrance.
Right.
That
So I
you
go,
need to fucking go to. Yeah.
So I turn around and go, I'm going to take the long way.
You have to.
Because, again, it wasn't one of those, like, I could have gotten stabbed, but it was certainly one of those, I do not want to walk near that. And so finally I take a long way, and I have to take the even sketchier entrance to the parking lot, because it's like through like a bank entrance.
Yeah.
So I'm like walking through going, please be gone, please be gone, please be gone, please be gone. And I don't see them, so I'm like, maybe I'm in the clear. And then I see behind a bush, and there's this woman still like yelling at this guy. I'm going, oh. So I very just
like texting on your phone.
I pull the whole like, I'm too busy looking at texts on my phone.
I am very important
to make eye contact. And so finally, we all pulled it. Yeah. So
He's the master of it.
I open the door as quietly as I can, and I close it as quietly as I can, and I'm just going, my car cannot quietly start up. So, because that's how technology works. So I just went, and I got out of that lot as safely, because it's always packed, and as fast as I could.
Yeah.
And as soon as I got on the street, I went, what was that?
I've got about avoiding people.
Yeah.
Which I do constantly. I hate people.
Yeah, we all do.
Not
You rock the headphones when you're out shopping? Because I do that.
No, you know what? I don't.
I go to like Walmart, just plug in. I'm not talking to these people.
But
Brief, real quick. You motherfuckers with your fucking headphones need to learn to take both of them out and listen to us fucking talk to you.
Oh, I always do
talk
that.
to us and do shit.
I pause my shit.
I always
when
do
check
that.
it.
Yeah.
No, but no,
Especially
even pausing, like just take them out. It's common courtesy.
I agree with
both
that.
of them.
I
Just
agree
like
with
tuck
that.
them in your shirt. Just fucking or the
Just-
and it's
even
what's
just
worse than
think
that
about it.
is Brandon. This happened to be the day motherfucker came up on the phone and he was like talking to I assume his wife. It may have been his fucking lover. I don't give a fuck.
The mistress
But-
was ham.
Yeah, it was some fucking mistress. And he was like, oh, these, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, hi, sir, can I help you? Like, trying to be nice. And he's like, 1 second, gives me the fucking finger. Like, just like, hold on. And I'm like, oh, you motherfucker. And then he proceeds to talk for 30 seconds. That's not an exaggeration. 30 seconds. I fucking counted because I always count because I hate these bitches. and he's like, all right, hold on, I'm at the store. Hold on. Like that many times.
Hold on, this
and
fucking asshole's trying
he
to help
doesn't
me.
he doesn't take the phone away from his ear. He just looks at me. He's like, "Can I have this, and this?" And before I can even say yeah, and we cut meat and cheese or whatever, so we have to ask like, "How thick do you want it?"
much, yeah.
Before I can even say anything, he's like, "All right." So anyway, and I'm like, "Motherfucker!" And I wanted to like throw a fucking slicer at him.
well, it's just a lack. It's just a lack of courtesy.
Yeah, exactly.
When they do that, you just go, fuck that, no more slices.
Yeah,
there you go.
And what I used to do, Steve
what I give
got on to me for it. I can't do it anymore. But when people would be on the phone, when they were like standing there at the counter, like on the phone, I wouldn't go help them. Because
I still do
theory-
that.
Yeah, my theory
still
is
do
that
that.
if they're on the phone, I don't want to interrupt this conversation. That's very clearly much more important than them getting whatever they want. I'll wait till they're done.
Right.
Well,
No.
look around like,
Well,
what's going on? Why is
yeah.
no one here?
It's such a selfish mentality. I mean,
It's
like,
still selfish
you
enough to
expect.
Yeah.
Not only do you expect this person on the phone to talk to you, but you expect this person like who doesn't want to interrupt your shit.
Yeah.
Like, to interact with you without having to do any of the effort. of interacting
Exactly.
with them.
You
Like,
wanna
what a
put it on
fucking asshole.
Everybody else.
That's why even if like I'm on the phone or if I'm texting and I'm going through like Panda or anything, I'll put it in my pocket.
You're like,
or I'll
hold
put it
on.
in here.
Yeah.
Like, hang on just 1 second.
Yeah.
I mean, because it.
It's not that hard to just tell
No,
whoever
right.
talking, like, hang on 1 second, I gotta do something.
And then put the fucking phone down.
I mean, because
I have people answer the door when I show up like on the phone all the time, and they're always just still chatting away while I'm trying to tell them like, you need to sign this, or you own
Not
this
giving you
employee or
the
whatever.
common fucking courtesy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's
Right.
like it's not that hard to put down your phone for 5 seconds while you pick up your pizza.
like simple eye-to-eye
I'm giving you
contact
pizza
and
here.
full attention.
Yeah,
Please,
I should just walk away with this
Yeah,
shit.
exactly.
You're very rude.
Like what Cody just said, just simple shit that you would think is basic human fucking behavior. Like in any other situation, like if you just walk past somebody on the fucking street, they would give it to you. But for some reason, the fact that you work at this place, the fact that you are in like helping them somehow, just fucking, I don't know, like it doesn't happen to me. Like I go out of my way to, like, and this is just because I've worked in customer service a lot. I go out of my way to, anytime anybody helps me with fucking anything, whether they come up to me and be like, hey, can I help you with something, or if I have to ask them and they help me find it, or they help me at least look for it, I go to customer service and I'm like, hey, this guy or this girl helped me, and I really think that they should be commended for it because they went out of their way. And it takes me literally 30 fucking seconds to go to customer service. Oh, totally. And it makes their day a lot better, because a lot of times they have incentives for that shit. Like, if you get a compliment because they're so fucking rare, you get like a $10 bonus on your check or something.
Oh, now people like you are so fucking rare. Because even working in retail, not necessarily at Stick It, but at Target, I am so much nicer than when I used to be, like, in retail.
I've learned.
And even then, I wasn't ever a dick, but I always felt like they were against me.
There's always a dick
Now,
on the
and
They
inside.
are
exactly.
against you. They
But-
are against you.
yeah. But now, like,
They always are.
even working in retail, I won't go out and like commend them up against customer service, customer service. But I'll definitely see like, thank you.
Yes.
Like,
Exactly.
I always
thank
like
you
to
for
at least
helping
say
me.
that, yeah.
Exactly, because
It's honestly, even the littlest stuff like that can sometimes make their day.
Yeah,
Well,
like,
and the
thank
thing-
God someone appreciates me.
Yeah.
exactly, and what it goes back to, well, this is maybe a little bit of a stretch, but when you're in the what's the word? The position.
Brandon?
Oh shit!
Sorry.
In the position of the customer or guest, as you call
Yes.
it, Target. Like when
No, let's call them customers.
Yeah,
They don't
fuck
earn
those
guests.
assholes. But
It's not like your house.
whenever you're trying to help this dude on the phone, again, it goes back to he is the customer. He has this sense of very small power over you because he's giving you
Because the customer's always right.
No,
Correct.
they're not.
No.
I gave up that mantra long ago.
Exactly.
I
No,
will
no,
tell
no.
them when
I
they're
don't
wrong.
believe in that mantra, but that mantra is unfortunately what we have to live
Sad.
with.
Absolutely.
Because if we shit talk a customer, we get in fucking trouble.
Brandon's been there. Have you ever seen me shit talk a customer?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he has. I do it really fucking smug too. Like, I'm the nicest motherfucker about it, but I'm shit talking the hell out of him.
Well, congrats on getting away with it. A lot of people can.
No, and Target is super bad about it. Like it's not as bad as Walmart because Walmart has this. They don't care. Like the quality of
Because it's
employees,
Walmart.
the quality of employees that they hire.
Is everyone?
And I don't mean to sound pretentious because I work at Target. I
roommate.
mean it's the
Target's so
Right.
much better.
it's the same
Plug it for
monster.
Target.
It's the
Yeah.
same monster, different colors.
Yeah, exactly.
We have a sale on
but-
Halloween candy.
Right.
Yeah, sorry.
But the way that you have no power. Like as lowest person on the totem pole, you have no power whatsoever. And there's been so many times where like even just a smug comment to me is just like a win because it's like
Oh yeah.
I got something.
I got away with it.
Meanwhile, they're just like barreling at me, almost hitting me, and you're just like, fuck. As soon as you say fuck or idiot or anything, your shit can because there's a million people just like you that are looking to get a minimum wage shit
Wouldn't
job.
mind having a couple extra
And
bucks.
that was my rant against capitalism.
And fuck
Well,
those.
and that comes back
Fuck
to
you,
Like-
capitalism.
Today,
That was a big arc.
and I
Shout out
hate
to the government.
I hate to say this because we're gonna have him on the fucking show next week, and I really don't want to, but it's so fucking relevant. There's a person
He's
that
gonna
we're
tell the
going to
story.
have. There's a person we're going to have on the show, and he's very opinionated. Like, not in a bad way. Like, he doesn't go out of his way to insult people. But I've been Facebook friends with him for 3 fucking days, maybe 4. And
these guys are awesome.
and it is awesome. And like nothing that he says, I'm not against anything that he says. Like, I'm all for it. I'm like, you're saying the things I agree with. That's fine. but he does it in such a rude manner.
Well, see, that's why I don't. Even though I agree with most of the shit that Bill Maher says, I think he's just he's the left version of somebody like Rush Limbaugh. Not as violent, but he's like
such a fucking ass.
right?
Yeah,
and it's
he's
like
definitely an asshole about it.
exactly.
Yeah.
You're not helping. Like the guy that that you're talking about. He's not helping the situation.
Exactly.
He's just inciting more discord.
Yeah. And what brought it to mind was that he posted something about the people wanting minimum wage to be raised to $10.
Right.
Like $10 for me, like that's my ideal wage for like the jobs that I tend to do.
Yeah,
like I'd like to get $10, but that's also like that's like one of those things where it's like I'd really like to get $10, but you don't really expect it.
Oh,
like
yeah,
I expect more than what I fucking get. I give them exactly the amount of work I think is worth what they pay me. Brandon can attest to this. I give them bare fucking minimum because they give me bare fucking minimum.
Minimum wage for minimum effort.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck,
Exactly.
exactly.
You get what you pay for.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But then
On
they
holidays,
expect
I am
you to
the
go
best
above and
worker.
beyond.
Oh yeah, and
21 bucks a
like
night.
they
Fuck yeah.
and we work for a company I'm not going to say because I'm pretty sure we can't actually shit talk a company
Probably.
without getting fired.
Sorry.
Especially ours because ours is really bad about it.
Sorry, I name dropped Target.
That's okay.
Sorry. My fault.
You work
No,
at
shout out to Target. Target's
Yeah,
great.
you worked for T-Mart, whatever.
Target.
Target, yeah. But
What?
we like they expect
That's
you to
my
go
man's
above and beyond,
warehouse.
and they give you no fucking incentives. Like they give you like bare minimum healthcare and bare minimum fucking.
You get healthcare?
We have the option for healthcare.
Where's my healthcare?
they gave me the option for healthcare. I was like,
But you
fuck no.
decline it
I
because
don't
it's
want
like, here, take this out of your paycheck.
no, exactly. It's healthcare they take out of your paycheck, and they take
son.
like if I didn't do it because I already have healthcare, but if I had done it, they would have taken $30 out of my paycheck, and I still would have had to pay. It's like a $60 copay on any doctor visit. Like it's bare line doctor
So, like,
visit is $60.
no.
And like, why the fuck would I have insurance in the first place if you're gonna make me fucking pay $60?
That's kind of how I see it.
Exactly, and so it's less a matter of like
My parents always tell me I should go to the doctor because I have insurance. I'm like, it'll still cost $60.
Yeah, I don't fucking have that money.
That's
Anyway, so
gas.
he was complaining about the people who give
Three road
poor
trips.
service and expect $10 minimum wage, and then that I get. Like I'm okay with being like, listen, you're giving shitty service. Like if you're gonna do that, then don't expect $10 minimum wage.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's such a very, very small minority of the people who work these shitty minimum wage jobs. Who like legitimately they try to go to work every day and put on a smile and just fucking be nice to these
get
people who
through the
treat
day.
them like nothing. Like they're so far beneath them and they just get shit on every day. And I can't wrap my head around it. I don't understand. This is actually getting way too political. I'm gonna end this. This
I
is
feel like this is
yeah,
the
yeah,
We
yeah.
Hate People episode.
It is. And that's
I
okay.
want to mention
That's fine.
one a little bit that starts to steer in a better direction.
Okay, that's good.
Hard left turn, guys.
But that was it. Like
Hard left turn, guys.
I wish that we could have a little bit higher minimum wage. $10 seems a little much, but I'd be fine with like $8.50.
I'd be totally
Maybe
okay with
$9.
$10.
Well, everyone would be okay with $10. That's a little high though.
I want a $20 minimum wage.
Boom.
Health care and dental.
Boom.
Boom.
Boom, economy saved.
Right there.
Because
That
dental is
happens,
like
inflation's going to be like, the dollar store is now the $5 store.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
I
what's
go to
gonna
Shit,
happen.
you know what?
store.
Fuck that.
You
I
can
don't
get fucking
care.
anything there for $5. That's amazing.
$5. You know what? I get $20 an hour.
They have a jet ski there.
I can buy
just
four
for
things.
$5 fucking dollars. That's amazing.
So anyway, for those of you, oh no,
Damn it, bitch.
My ears. Hell.
Someone's gonna hate
Sorry,
that.
everybody.
Jake, fix it.
It is Mitch's
Okay.
fault. Mitch's fault this time.
this is my fault this time. First
Anyway,
time.
continue.
So, for those of you at home who don't know, I am currently a substitute teacher.
There's that.
Okay, you're kidding. You're right. I got it wrong.
He's a substitute.
Joke's on you.
He's a
worst-
very good substitute.
That's
from
the
what I
worst.
hear, too.
That's the worst rule of improv. You don't just be like, "Oh, my uncle's on fire," and he's like, "No, he's not. He's fine."
You're like,
You're
don't
right.
do that.
As
You're
we
right,
addressed
bitch.
last week, in fact.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes,
and.
and rule.
You got
Yes,
me. So I'm a substitute teacher, and this came to mind because you mentioned they give you the bare minimum to work with.
Yes. Yeah.
So with my system, sometimes the teachers who leave behind notes are either very specific or completely.
Is this
Not
the
gonna
thing
tell
you
you
told me about earlier when you checked it on my computer? Like
Yes.
last week or something?
Oh yeah, well kind of. I ended
Okay,
up signing
okay.
up for a job. This was yesterday actually. And it was for middle school. For those of you at home, I'm trained to be a high school teacher. I am terrible at middle school and even worse at elementary.
Because children are bad.
Children are evil.
I'm at that point where they at least understand what they're doing. So
All they've got to deal with is hormones.
I sign up for the middle school thing. It's for half a day, and it just says the phrase "extra help." So when I read that, in my mind, I thought they were having like some big outdoor event, and they just needed like extra hands to be like make sure the kids aren't killing themselves.
Yeah.
Stop.
Make sure they're staying. Yeah, that's honestly what I thought it was. Turns out that day was their teacher meeting day, so teachers would have to miss at least one of their classes.
So it wasn't in service. It was just
No, I was teaching, but I wasn't in that one class all day. I was going to multiple classes.
Oh fuck. Okay.
So I taught. It was half a day. I taught 3 subjects
Okay.
in one day. I started with music, then I went to gym, and then I went to French.
I feel like that got progressively
Cool.
worse for you.
It did.
Like,
So
I think you
hard
could
mode.
bullshit your way through music, and gym's pretty easy.
Ironically-
but fucking
ironically, the worst was music.
What the hell?
So I went in.
I'm gonna do it for lunch.
I went
Thanks
in
for last
originally.
miss.
I went in, and the teacher was still there because he was getting his papers together, and he was like, "Oh, I'm glad you have a minute. I can tell you what's going on in the
Yeah.
class," because he's getting ready to go to his meeting for that one class
The
period.
music
a day.
teacher, right?
Yeah, and I'm catching up with the music teacher. I'm like, "Oh, I'm trying to be a theater guy." And we're actually like, he's a really nice guy. We're hitting it off right
Well,
off the bat.
they go hand in hand, kind of.
Yeah.
they absolutely
So we're just
do.
hitting it off, and he's a really nice guy, and he just goes, "All right, today's lesson is we've been watching West Side Story."
Ugh.
Yes.
I said, "Oh,
Cody, you and I,
I
have
thought-
opposite. I fucking love West Side Story.
I fucking hate it.
You
I
guys
can't
are
stand it.
dicks. I hate all of you.
I can't stand it, but I don't say that because
Yeah.
he's a nice
It's
guy.
rude, so-
He's a nice guy, and it's very. And I'm just like, oh, well, because I also understand like what points he's trying to make. So
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this
Yeah,
makes
fair
sense.
enough.
This
Yeah,
works.
yeah.
So I'm just like, oh, okay, cool. So he's just, we're gonna be watching this. He goes, the kids are kind of wild,
Oh no.
and I'm
Wait,
just
like Jets wild or Sharks
Ma-
wild?
anyway.
Dance wild.
He
Let's
just
do
goes,
it.
they're kind of wild, and in my mind, I'm like, well, they're middle schoolers. Of course they will be.
Yeah.
The reason that I shave my head is so I can't pull out my hair.
Yeah, there you go.
That's
It's
correct.
so I'm just kind of like, but in my mind I'm still going. It's a movie. What are they gonna do?
Yeah.
So
Just tell them to keep
Dance
it to a,
fight.
yeah, just tell them to keep it to a dull roar and fucking call it
So
good.
Exactly. Billy
as soon
Booger
as I
can be
start the
smart.
movie,
Yeah.
all of them start talking
What the-
loudly.
Oh, like
Like da da da. Like we're in the it's the cafeteria. Like that level.
Tough guy Mitch emerged.
That level.
So
So
you had to stand up,
sadly,
slam
yeah.
the table, just.
I'm getting like the very concerned parent voice, which every teacher has to have.
Did you do the dad glasses?
No,
I
I don't
do
have
take
to.
your yard-
I do that
I
today
don't have
on
to
a
'cause I have
daily
the-
basis,
I have the
and it's
glare.
finally starting to work. Whenever I pull my glasses to the end of my nose, she's like, "Oh shit,
Because-
something's wrong."
I never like to start off the class also with that level because I shouldn't have to. So at first I'm like, I'm gonna give an example and I'm gonna step away from the mic
Okay, yeah,
to give an example.
that's fair.
So like at the beginning of the class, like it was this one group in the corner. I'm like, guys in the corner, please pay attention, stuff like that.
Yeah,
Normally
watch
about
the
that
fucking
level.
movie, yeah.
About halfway through, they get really loud, and I'm stepping away from it. I had to go, guys in the corner, and all of them went, "Huh." And I'm like, that's good.
Yeah.
And and then like 5 seconds after I stopped talking, they're all like, so anyway, Jenna, the recess was all there, they're just
You're
talking
not
away.
fucking listening.
And I have 7 to 8 people who are actually like in the middle of the room who are actually like trying to watch.
Yeah.
And this little girl who's like maybe a foot smaller than me, she's adorable. She has these big glasses, small haircut. She's wearing this
Is she your
big shirt.
hero?
And she just comes up and she just goes, I'm sorry we were so bad. We actually really like this movie and we'd like to continue watching. You can tell your teacher that, the class was bad. And I was just going,
It wasn't you.
and I just went,
Oh my god, I want to take you away.
I just went, no, you were perfect. You were fine.
You're a dream
You
child.
are everything I could want.
It's not your fault. It's the movies.
You just grab her and you just hug her like, it's
He
okay.
just like picks her up and pinches her cheeks like, never change.
And it was just one of
Boys
those.
are evil. Don't touch them.
So I go to gym. Gym's slightly better because literally my whole lesson was go out on the track and go around the track.
Yeah.
Run the fucking track.
A lot
I
of-
fucking hate
All
it.
right, everyone, 5-mile run today. Go.
And
See,
I
I
would be
was
like,
even-
fuck that 5-mile walk, bitch. Let's
See,
do this.
all of them, I said, they're all like, what are we doing today? I'm like, we're doing track. And all of them went, ah! And I'm like, guys, as long as you're just walking, I don't care.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
Hell,
just
roll
be
if you
moving.
want to.
I just
Yeah.
said, just
Fucking
keep going.
crawl
You
and
can
shit.
talk all you want. As long as you're doing some movement, I will be fine with that.
Yeah.
And so Jim was a little more was rowdy, but nowhere near on that level.
Because they were outside, they were
Yeah.
doing what they were supposed to be
Right.
doing. Yeah.
So my last class is French, And it's at the point where the kids are finding it very funny that they know more French than I do. Because I took French when I was in their grade, where we had it for
but
like
that was like
a month.
long time ago.
Yeah, that was 6th grade. This is like several years ago. Yeah,
Damn.
so I know.
So you
nothing
literally
about
know like
French.
omelette du fromage, and that's it.
I don't even know that.
Shit.
I know the 2 words. I know Frère Jacques, Frère Jacques. You know, pretty much. I'm like that level. So all of them are like, oh. So they were honestly very, very good and very, very good. But as like kids are coming in, this one girl in the little pink shoe's like, oh hi. I was like, hi.
Oh wait, was it the same girl?
Yeah, it's the same girl.
nice.
And the one thought in my head is, I'm like, I just want to tell this girl that I'm not always mad. And then
Always.
I think she got it. I'm pretty sure she understood that. So one of the things I had to do was I had to collect all of their planners, make sure they were signed and filled out, sign, and then I could give them points, and then call their name and they get it. So I'm going through the pile, and I don't know her name, so I call out the name that's in there, and this little girl comes up, she's like, hi. I'm like, here you are, you little angel.
You're back.
Thank fucking God.
I didn't say angel, but I just gave it back. She's like, thank you, and I'm just going,
You're so
and-
welcome.
Well, this is what actually happened. She goes, thank you. I'm like, thank you.
Yeah.
And she just sits back down, and I'm just like, oh, where were you?
The entire
The-
time.
How come
All
you
day.
can't be all of these kids?
Can I take you to every class with me?
Please, God.
Can you be my sidekick? One of the.
So, West Side Story.
Yeah, let's do West Side
Are we?
Story real quick.
You
Man,
know,
I haven't watched West Side
Why?
Story too long. I can't contribute
Okay,
to
you
this.
can sit aside though.
not necessarily West Side Story, but
Golden Age musicals.
bring it up, like oh fuck, Pajama Game.
Oklahoma.
No, Oklahoma's a piece of shit.
Yeah,
except
it is.
for
I had
that
to work it.
Oklahoma.
I had to
where the
work it.
wind blows.
But I mean,
people
West
wanna
Side Story
play.
isn't necessarily Golden Age.
No, but
it teeters between Golden Age and rock musical, which
Yes.
is
That's why it's so
which is a
rad.
saving grace for it.
yeah, that's the one reason I would ever consider watching it again, because I have a
Right.
deep affinity for rock musicals. I think
Oh,
they
yeah.
have like the
We
greatest.
need more of
terrible-
them.
Yeah, my absolute favorite is Tommy. I think Tommy is so underdone and
Fair
so.
enough.
And now I'm rambling. And
It's
now-
very
and-
underdone.
and
Now I
West
don't
Side
know what
Story.
Tommy is
Tommy, it's
because I'm not a theater.
Hotchkiss has it.
no. You know
Hotchkiss
what?
has it.
Tommy. Well, first of all, being a theater major does not entirely
Preclude Tommy.
Oh God, man!
Okay.
I am the least theater person. I'm
It's
like,
just really funny
But
to hear
you're
him
a
talk about it.
BFA. I don't
Right,
understand.
exactly.
It's really funny to hear him talk about
Oh,
it because
that
it
is-
feels very much like a clique. And
Yeah,
then
it is.
Cody's like, I'm a BFA, and we all went, yeah?
yeah.
Attaboy!
What kind of BFA?
Well,
We all were very
it is,
proud
and,
of him for
and,
making
you know, I don't want to shit on the program because it's an awesome program.
It is.
but it's very.
There are
cliquey,
problems with it.
and
there are
I
problems
am-
with all of them.
It draws a very specific type of person.
Exactly. And I'm 22 years old. I'll be 23 in November. And the people that are in my grade, so to speak, they're like 18.
Sounds about right.
And all they do is talk about theater, which, you know what? Awesome.
That's good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
But
Awesome.
dude, there's a level, and I mentioned this earlier. There's a level of pretension that comes. Pretension. If
I've had this rant many a time.
pretension that comes in with it. Like during one of our classes, we have this segment, and I'm sorry if I'm running over time.
No, you're fine.
Awesome.
Keep going. We're perfectly fine.
It's an intro class, and there's like a 15 to 20 minute block that's set aside for just kind of getting shit out in the open, and just kind of clearing your head for the work.
Which
It's awesome.
I hate to say, I think every major should have that.
Theoretically, it is terrific. Like that would be amazing if that's what it was.
Yeah.
But what it boils down to one of two things. It either becomes TV Guide, which is awful.
Everyone talking about Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad.
Oh, you think
Dude, Breaking. That's for like.
There will be time for break.
Okay, all right.
Let the ending sink
Okay,
in.
okay, right. Breaking Bad or any number of shit god awful reality TV. Or
Jersey Shore this week,
You're not
guys.
talking shit on Survivor, are you?
I am.
Amazing Race. Or it becomes like this convoluted hypothetical discussion that really means nothing about what art is and what it means to be an artist.
That boils down to ultimately,
Like, look at me.
art is whatever you think art
I mean,
is.
Exactly. What it becomes is each person basically saying like 5 minutes of nothing, which is just masturbation.
Yep.
Like, and it is so.
Well, I mean, if you can't publicly masturbate, then
Exactly.
what can you do?
But it's just so. It's so goddamn.
You do it in
frustrating
secret.
Exactly.
because I
In
was
the corner in San Diego.
I was critiqued for not talking a lot in class.
What?
And
What?
I was like, no, and like, that's fine. I don't say a lot, believe it or not. I don't say a
This is
lot
a
within
different
class.
atmosphere, though.
Yeah, exactly. This is much more open.
But like, if I don't have anything worth saying, why am I trying to make something up or like make myself look smart? Like that is so fucking frustrating. And unfortunately, the type of person that certain programs, not exclusive to the BFA, but any art program, I think draws that kind of person with it. Any person has the potential to be super pretentious. That
I could literally say 12 different things right now that would just put me in an Ed Hardy shirt and a backpack.
Right, exactly.
Cap, and
But,
all of you would be like, "Oh my god, this fucking guy."
and I notice it especially with incoming freshmen who think they know the shit about everything. But I think arts majors, there's a very dangerous line that you have to walk.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be kind of hypocritical. I think I've done it well, which is pretentious by saying that. But yeah, there's a total disconnect that comes with being an older
Yes.
BFA
Yes.
and not super theatery, which again is not a word, but
Well, no, I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
Like,
well,
because
I-
I've gotten
Yeah,
into,
exactly. Yeah.
I've gotten into 1.5 billion arguments because just explaining the differences between the programs and the segregation between the programs. That's an entirely different 3-hour rant. We have a friend of ours who did not understand. She thought the program was, and the program is good. I will say that the program is very good.
I've benefited a
Yes.
ton.
Yes, and it's a very good
an active
program.
person because of it.
It excludes everyone else in that theater realm to a certain degree. And I was pointing out my problems with it and my difficulties with it, and she had the meaning to kind of keep trying to shut me down
Right.
because of it, and I was just very much like, really? Because you're, I don't know if you, and she really wasn't looking at it from an outsider's opinion, she was looking at it from the inside. And so I was just kind of, and there was this glorious moment where a friend of mine who it was the third piece of the puzzle, he wasn't part of this conversation, but he was at least understanding all of it, and at one great moment, he looked at her and just says, "This is what he's been doing all his time here in college.
Right.
I can't back him up, but I can guarantee you he knows what he's talking about." And I just kind of went,
And
I hope that picks up.
Yeah. That's not to demean
No,
the accomplishment of becoming a BFA.
of course
because,
not.
Like,
Again,
think,
it's a good program.
right, and I think that there should be some like exclusiveness to being
There
a
should
BFA
be,
because
yeah.
like it's a shit audition. Like it's so goddamn stressful.
They have to do like a yearly or a semester-long like audition thing to like prove you're still in it. But
Yeah,
I found
it's-
out even if you do terrible
can't
at
get
it, you
kicked
can't
out.
get kicked
The
out.
only way
It's
you
so
get kicked
kind of
out
nuts.
So it doesn't fucking matter.
Right, but like that achievement because it's so exclusive, you should get some privileges. For
Yes,
being
and
a
I
BFA.
agree with that.
But there are some classes that you can't take because you're not a BFA, and I don't necessarily agree that all of those should be
Yes.
super exclusive to BFA. And also, you shouldn't. And this may sound redundant. You just shouldn't act like you're fucking better than everybody
Yeah.
because
I
you
sometimes
have
feel
an
like
A, an F.
I always
No,
feel
I
like
feel that all the time, just in general as a person.
Mhm.
But
I mean, I am actually
you guys
better,
all
so
pause.
yeah.
You guys all pause like, is this motherfucker serious?
It's just a
No,
fucking,
man.
you're all a stepping stone.
Man, I am right there with you. I could talk until the day is long about how much I hate my fellow man for the most part.
Am I the only person at this table who, for the most part, likes other people?
You know what?
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah.
I like
I-
other people who prove themselves to
No,
be
no, no, no. I
competent
mean,
at
like,
this
generally,
thing.
like, when I meet a motherfucker, I assume that they are a good person.
Oh, I don't.
No.
And just like, you know
No.
what? I like you. I find good in people.
I've been
You've been tries too. He's the closest they've got.
Sometimes it works really well, and
Yeah.
at times I'm like, oh, well, when
So
I
you're
call
like
him wrong,
Superman, we're like Batman, is where this is
I
going.
don't want to be Superman.
when I call him
You
wrong,
are what you
I feel
hate.
so bad. Like when I call him wrong, I'm like, I mean, I always like to think people are good. And
Yeah.
I'll be like, sure, I've just met you. I can't think anything wrong of you.
Yeah.
And then I'll be like, this guy seems good. And then like he'll say something else, and I'll just in my head I'll be like, oh, such a letdown.
Yeah,
Disappointing.
and like,
Yeah.
honestly, working down in town, it's immediately whenever they mention what they listen to or they make an allusion to what they listen to.
Oh
No.
boy. I might be in trouble here.
Oh, man.
And I've gotten to the point where I can generally tell what people are going to listen to, and it sounds like profiling based on how they come into the store.
Sure.
Wait,
Their attitude.
real quick. What do you think I listened to? If you hadn't heard the bass comment.
The bass comment, I honestly wouldn't know. I would say that you probably listen to some indie.
Nope.
No? Damn.
No, dude.
I'm-
He
I'm-
wouldn't go for that shit at all.
Not in the bass in the indie, man.
Well, yeah, it's true.
You listen to Grenadina, plug in.
Plug in for Grenadina.
I don't know. Man.
And that's a serious plug, unlike those other
Serious,
plugs.
that's a
I
serious,
mean,
like, actually shout out to Grenadina.
Typically, I get a tip off by like, oh, one of Nickelback's.
Yeah, like they're
You're
looking,
dumb.
like they
Right,
ask you,
right,
do you
right.
have this?
Dude,
But,
I
I mean,
love
dude-
Nickelback.
Right.
Dude,
Just
you're a
kidding.
liar.
Like, guys that come in, like I said, in an Ed Hardy T-shirt. It's like, oh, I bet you like Seether and Saliva, which if you guys are fans.
New Seether and Saliva.
Correct.
though.
And it's just like boom, boom.
See, that's pretty rad, but Saliva's...
And absolutely, like, just right then, I can just be like, you're a douchebag. You
Get out of
are a
my
douchebag.
store. I hate you.
And, if I'm trashing on your music, just fucking rip me a new one.
Dude, I've put up with this for so long.
He reviews music.
First of all, I listen to a wide spectrum of stuff, so like nothing can really offend me.
Right.
Like I'll listen to I still listen to like NSYNC CDs from time to time.
Hey,
Justin
that's
Timberlake's
awesome.
still a huge
You know
fan.
what?
That's
honestly, I just today at Stick It, I listened to JT's 2020 album. Not the second one, but the first one.
It's so good, man.
It's incredible.
It's fantastic. The man's just a good
It's
musician.
so good.
That's all there is to it.
He really just makes good music.
But no, I mean,
They're in the same shape.
I listen to a wide variety of shit, and I kind of learned like early on, you just kind of gotta like, you like what you like, and if people disagree with it, just whatever, man.
Now,
it is what it
If
is.
they make
fuck
problems
cares?
because of it, then
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then
That,
throw some
those are the
fists,
people that I
but-
fucking hate.
Yes.
And it's, I don't want to blanket people, but you'll see them all the time downtown.
I've never once seen a juggalo except
well,
on
to me,
Halloween.
that's like an entirely different breed of person.
It's, my one exception, like I said, is Halloween. Last Halloween, I was downtown with Pear and a bunch of other people because we were going out for Halloween. And holy dicks, there were half the fucking town was dressed in fucking juggalo makeup. And I thought maybe it was like some like group, like Facebook group or something. Like, oh, let's all dress up as juggalos. Make fun of them. No, I asked someone, I was like, why are you dressed up as juggalos? I was like, oh man, we're juggalos. We fucking love this shit. And I was like, why?
It's time to paint the town douchebag.
My
Dick, I
brother,
think I saw one
was
today
talking to
at
my
work.
brother after
Yeah.
this. I was talking to my brother
That's
one
good.
day after this, and juggalos generally dirty folks. Like
Yeah.
they're
They're
been
very
smoking.
like hickish.
Yeah, very. Oh, and my brother and I were talking, just like hating this motherfucker. He just smelled like shit, and he's all, he swore by the hatchet and all this.
Mhm.
And he left, and my brother was just like, I don't know how ICP makes any fucking money because those people that come in here never have any fucking money.
Yeah, they're fucking
Like,
poor as shit.
Yeah,
Because they spend it all on ICP shit.
like, goddamn, like they don't. Nobody that's ever come in looking for like ICP ever buys anything. They're just like, oh yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. No, you won't.
You won't come back in here.
Not a chance. You came in here
You're gonna
once.
be living on the
There's,
fucking street tomorrow.
Yeah.
There's a Workaholics episode, and I think it's actually like the season 1 finale, where one of them ends up going to a Juggalo show, and
Oh yeah, I've seen it.
he goes to a Juggalo show, and he sees like this normal like family dude there, just hanging out in like the back of his fucking hatchback. He's got like a tailgate thing going, and he's like, What are you doing here? He's like, oh man, I just really like the music. He's like, but you're not like these people. He's like, oh, but we're not all the same. Some of us have kids and wives. Why don't we just like put on face paint and go to an ICP show? And he's like, what the fuck? He just can't wrap his head around it, and it's the funniest fucking thing. But it's very much one of those moments where it's like there are always. Like, in anything, there's always an exception to the rule.
Absolutely.
And sometimes it's a very wide exception to the rule.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure there are a great many people who listen to ICP who that aren't fucking, like...
They're just not in Springfield.
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly, I sort of feel like that exception to the rule. Growing up, I was really into that radio rock kind of stuff, like Cedar, Papa Roach, yada. So I made a tradition of going to this big rock festival in Kansas City every year, Rockfest. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
Yeah. Wow.
Very uninventive name.
It's
Rock
huge.
festival called Rockfest.
It plays shit like that.
Yeah, it's one that's like 6 different stages and shit.
Yeah,
just two,
well,
actually.
yeah,
Just two. But it's 15 bands,
It's not like the one in fucking, Oregon, where they have, like, 3 days of, like, 80 bands.
Well, yeah, it's the biggest one-day rock music festival in America, or whatever it is. But more and more, I went again this last year, and first of all, I think I'm getting way too old to do like 24-hour rock festivals. I was getting winded by like 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
Is this
I'm
the last one you went to?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
and I'm just fucking tired of being out
I
here.
just don't want to be here.
I ended up leaving by like 8.
Damn, this shit goes till like 1 in the morning too.
Well, the great thing is I've started to get more into the second stage bands that are they're not all cock rock and shit, which is most of what happens in the main stage.
Cock rock. Which isn't necessarily bad.
I love that term, by the way. Cock rock
Right.
is terrific. Like,
Hinder, Buck
it's
Cherry,
like Bon Jovi, that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Dude, Bon Jovi fucks some shit up.
Well, Bon Jovi's more mom rock
Yeah,
than cock rock.
it is.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's dad rock.
But-
dad
well,
rock all
dad
day.
rock. I mean-
Bon Jovi.
Parrot rock, but that doesn't
In the terminology portion of our
Hinder is the
episode.
worst.
But either way, man, I went through it this last year, and like not only was I feeling tired, but for once I was kind of looking around, and I'm like, I really stand out here. I feel like I'm one of the only like 20 cultured people in this field right now. Like,
Everyone else is like doing fucking beer pongs. And,
there's just like a lot of like douchey frat dudes, or like
Yep.
fat ass trailer park guys,
Oh, yeah.
or crazy trashy women who are like walking around in bikini tops with beads draped all over their body, and it's just like, I don't belong here anymore.
This feels wrong.
I think I wanted to belong here when I was a teenager, and I'm kind of glad I don't.
Real quick, just so I can get a better feel. Can we do like favorite band, favorite album? I don't want to get too listy.
Yeah,
or
go ahead.
anything, but
We'll start with Hinder.
My favorite band is it's a toss up nowadays, but it's Our Lady Peace and Incubus are my top two.
yeah.
Favorite album is Spiritual Machines by Our Lady Peace.
Killer.
Yeah.
Gorillas. It's always been Gorillas. I think it's not so much my favorite album. It's just one of the ones that I'm most familiar with. I gotta give it to Plastic Beach.
It's a killer album.
I love it. Yeah.
Brennan doesn't listen to music.
That's actually pretty crazy, 'cause I didn't vibe on Plastic Beach.
Oh no,
But Brennan, it's okay if you
it's
have
good.
like
I just
some
listened to
weird
little-
like
Oh, sure,
underground shit that nobody else has heard of.
The cool part about Gorillas
It's a
is
YouTube
they
guy,
always
okay.
slightly change their YouTube
Yeah,
sound
yeah.
also.
Yeah,
So
my shirt
I give
gives me
it
away. DJ Pope 3 on YouTube.
DJ what?
DJ Pope 3.
Pone 3?
Kind of like Mouse 5. But
Oh, okay.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
so-
Oh, okay. So Dead Ma- So it's like Pony, but
that's
with
a
a
joke.
3 instead of an
It
E.
doesn't be
Right.
like that thing. It's more
Okay.
like house and like electric and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
No, I get that. Yeah.
But it's a guy on YouTube.
Yeah, it's
Um,
No, I got a guy on YouTube that I'm gonna plug in because he's awesome.
It's
ISOsign.
it will. My favorite will always and forever be Linkin Park, and I'm probably the only person you'll ever meet that will cite their favorite band as Linkin Park.
Well, no, but they've done a really good job of keeping their sound fresh and like experimenting.
Yeah.
Well, and this is.
I'm really glad in retrospect that they didn't get caught in like that new metal niche that they did.
Yeah.
For
Well,
us.
They
exactly.
just re-released Hybrid Theory on 180 gram. That,
Wait, what?
They released it for Record Store Day this past year, and it sold like a motherfucker.
I need that.
Well, I mean, it is.
In my
It's all seriousness. It's one of the top selling albums of all time. Like,
it's
It went diamond.
yeah, and it is. It's really, especially when it came out, it was really fresh and like innovative. Sounding.
It was a very timely piece. But the reason I love and I always feel like I have to defend it because literally this is the only time I've ever said my favorite band is Linkin Park, and I've not been met with like really. Because they have this stigma of like the anime nerd kind of.
Yeah, they have
like,
such a shitty reputation.
Yeah, because of their fans. Yeah, and
AMVs.
And the worst part is like their fans aren't notoriously like that. Like they have normal fucking fans.
Right.
It's just the very small minority of fans
That are weird.
that are weird
We're
are
like
very
crowded in
vocal
my
about it.
skin.
Exactly.
Jake, as a brony, I can say that is every fandom everywhere ever.
No, that's fair. Exactly.
Yeah.
Poor Evanescence got shoved into the same box.
Yes, yes, I did. Yep.
But the reason I love Linkin Park is that they weren't originally my favorite band. When Hybrid Theory came out, I fucking loved Hybrid Theory, but they weren't my favorite band.
Right.
When Meteora came out, I loved it. They weren't my favorite band. When
Minutes to Midnight.
yeah, that one was kind of a flop for me, and
Yeah.
it kind of like put them underneath. And I
Dude,
was like,
in
you know what?
retrospect, I really love that record. Actually,
It's all right. It's not very good.
I used to kind of diss on it back when it came out, but
it's
that was really wrong.
real experimental.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, no, you want to talk experimental? It's 1,000 Suns.
Well, yeah, that's fair. Yeah. But 1,000 Suns was what cemented it for me.
That's a fucking rad
Yeah,
album.
1,000 Suns is fucking awesome, and that was literally the moment I listened to it. I got 3 songs into 1,000 Suns, and I was like, "They're my favorite band."
Yeah.
I can't. They are my favorite
I
band
mean, that-
because they've been literally. They evolved from when they first came out. Hybrid Theory. I listened to that for the first time in 2002.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things where I listened to it and I was like, this is the fucking best, and it formed my music interest. Like, I was like, I like this. This is what I like. And I found other shit I liked like that.
That was one of my first big albums, too, man.
Yeah, and it kept going. Like, when Meteora came out, I had started to shift away from Hybrid Theory, and I liked more of the rappy kind of, like fucking turntable shit. And they came out with that, and it's like, oh my god, it's fucking perfect. I love this.
Right.
They're
evolving with me.
That's exactly what it is. And they kept doing, even with Minutes to Midnight. Like, I don't really like Minutes to Midnight in retrospect. But even when it happened during that time in my life, I didn't know what the fuck I liked.
Right.
I was experimenting. I was
Yeah,
doing
right.
whatever the fuck I liked. And then 1,000 Suns came out right when I started getting to like electronic kind of Depeche Mode kind of shit.
Oh, yeah.
And, yeah, exactly. And I was like, holy shit, this is perfect. And then Living Things came out, and it was even more.
It's the
like,
soundtrack to your life.
You say that jokingly? Seriously.
No,
like,
it's so
a
cliche,
soundtrack-
but it's so
yeah,
true.
it's so fucking true. Like, oh my god, it's a soundtrack to my life. I can't even describe it any better.
Oh, good.
We're fine.
No, it wasn't that. It was just like the ratings are off the charts.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna go.
Lights.
I'm super cliche, guys. My wheelhouse is 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s rock.
No, see,
No,
that's
that's
where
fine.
you lose me.
Okay.
I've never really gotten into the classics.
Really? See,
And
this,
With a few exceptions.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, we can all say that our favorite bands are whatever the hell, but
Right.
like me personally,
We
I
listen
know
to a
that.
lot, though, yeah.
Yeah, that like Mitch fucking knows. He's seen my iTunes library and shit like
Oh, yeah.
that. I listen to a wide variety of
Yeah,
shit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm diverse as hell.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. No, my favorite band of all time, and I've seen the lead singer live. It was terrific.
Nice.
I will rap.
Was he by himself or was he?
No,
with a band?
he actually opened for Eric Clapton.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
right on.
yeah, Roger Daltrey. I will rep the Who
Oh.
for as long as I
yes.
possibly could. When I was like 16, I was just browsing through random shit, and I heard My Generation,
Yeah.
which is just like an ass kicker of a song.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah,
fucking bass solo,
Oh yeah.
and it's like it's the proto.
That's why I like that song.
Right.
Basically,
Like it's like the progenitor
Yeah.
of punk. Like those dudes like started punk before it was punk. I mean, they're not viewed as a punk band, but
yeah.
like My Generation is a punk song, and like I got into them. Like, they play with. It's interesting to me because they play with the drums and the bass as the lead instruments, and the lead guitar is the rhythm section, and it's shockingly I will rep the Who. For
Sure,
And then my favorite album is like the cliche among cliches. It is Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. I will acknowledge that.
Suck it in, Jake.
I will acknowledge that people think that there's a lot better Beatles albums.
If I didn't know you if I hadn't been sitting on a podcast with you for 120 minutes now, if I met you on the street,
You
and
think
you're
I was
like,
a douchebag.
my favorite album is Sgt. Pepper's, I'd be like,
You're a fucking
just
dude.
punch you right in the face. Just
Do you
oh
have a
god.
problem?
Do you write for
No.
Rolling Stone?
No. This is the thing. I have zero problems. I fucking love Sgt. Pepper's.
Absolutely.
The problem is that much in the way that people who like Sonic hate Sonic fans, and people who like Invader Zim hate Invader Zim
Right,
fans,
right, right.
I hate fans of Sgt. Pepper's.
Well, and I think
Notorious.
Well, there's
Not
a
all the
lot
time,
of
but-
hipster ass Beatles fans.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's now, like the people that you see that like have like the $50 Beatles shirt, and
It's like, oh, we get it. They're the greatest band ever. Jesus.
Yeah, everybody agrees with you.
Yeah.
Stop trying to be different.
self-deprecating. I have Beatles shirts, but a lot of those people don't do the research. You know what I mean? Like I can justify why I like that album and feel fairly
sure, yeah.
confident going forward
Yeah.
that I'm not going to be I won't sound like a hipster fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You won't be like, well, it's just so great.
It's like when I was 13 and I bought the Nirvana shirt when I did like 4 songs.
Yeah, you're like,
let's
even though
let's break it down.
the only good Nirvana songs were the singles. And
Whoa.
Here,
Let's pump
I
the
stand
brakes.
by what I
Let's
said.
pump the
I
brakes.
stand by what I said.
That is correct, sir.
No,
No, that
I won't have any part of this.
That-
This dumb. I hate
You know
this.
their singles, and their unplugged album is one of the best.
Oh, that unplugged album is
It
killer.
is. If it's not the best, that and Alice in Chains unplugged is
Yeah.
fucking amazing.
That-
But go ahead.
No. I was just agreeing. That's all I had.
No, Sgt. Pepper. I got it on vinyl. Just some random relative gave it to me, and it was a mono edition, which is awesome because if you have a decent setup, which at the store there's a whole bunch of different speakers. What's so cool about that is the way they channeled it is mono. Different sounds come from different speakers, and so you get this crazy mesh of everything that you don't get to hear on stereo. And I don't want to get too technical. I'm not.
No, you're fine. Yeah, go for it.
And just the way that
someone will understand.
Right.
But bear in mind, the one of the models I had coming into this thing was that regardless of what you're doing, someone will enjoy it.
Right. Okay. That's
so it's very much like I don't give a shit how many people like it as long as someone likes it. So it's nonsense. Poop. Yep.
That's the nonsense.
Poop is on that note.
That's awesome.
Anyway, continue. Sorry.
Let's poop on the note.
Who pooped on that note?
on vinyl, just the production quality and just the songwriting on it is staggering. Like the flow of the album and the way it's produced. George Martin had an incredible mind, and A Day in the Life at the end of that record is staggeringly good. It's a song that it transcends not only the record but the band in general. I could listen to that song on loop.
Oh yeah.
On forever and always, and be just.
Is it the soundtrack to your life?
It is the soundtrack. No, the soundtrack to my life is "Jack and Little Pill" by Alanis Morissette.
Hell
That's a good fucking album.
Boom! Dropping knowledge on Work in Progress, episode 8.
Oh my god.
Man.
We really missed a golden opportunity here because he and Ian would have hit it off swimmingly with their classic
you're
taste in
right.
music.
Yeah.
Ian is all about
You got the shit show here because you got like 3 guys who are mostly to newer shit. When Ian, who's normally here, is way into the classics.
And see, that's what I appreciate is that like you guys have a much like whenever you're talking about like the Linkin Park album, it's like I've heard of many of these records. I have not listened to a lot of them.
Yeah.
Whereas I could rattle off the discography for the Beatles and the Who and like just
Just like nothing. And you could tell exactly why you liked each
exactly.
one.
No, that ranks pretty highly up there. And then my like one if Sgt. Pepper is 1A would be Kind of Blue, a jazz record, Miles Davis, John Coltrane. I'm with Miles Davis.
For some reason, I figured he would be into Coltrane.
Or
maybe like
I
jazzy
wouldn't have pegged
kind
it.
of shit.
I like his like
I'm the worst
really,
judge of character for this.
really
I just assume
early-
everyone's into metal and
Mitch, I thought you were an anal cunt, man. This is
vaginal.
not an insult.
That's a real
surprisingly.
band. That's a
Yeah,
real-
it is. We
Can't
have
get
to
enough.
stick it. Froth.
Just one CD. Just one CD.
Have you seen an anal cunt track listing? They have the worst song titles I've ever seen in my life.
Are they all variations on anal
Please
cunts?
give me some examples.
Also, I guess I earlier
I'm so
Mitch, you were the one who was like censoring yourself from saying the C word. We just dropped it like 12 times.
That's
But it's a
fine.
band
I'm
name,
still
so
not-
it's okay.
Yeah, whatever.
I'm still
It's
not
their
saying
fault
what she
though.
said because she said an abomination.
Oh, an abomination.
I would like
Oh, I think that's an
Once
anal
we're
cunt song.
off the air, you need to tell me what she said.
I will after the podcast.
I would like to
That
explore
better.
the use of that word.
No, Bing, I don't want images of
You know
that.
what? Let's save that for your second.
He tested very highly with the sponsors.
I too would like to explore the use of that because notoriously I am. This is kind of off topic, but I butt heads a lot with.
With like Rams.
Yes, the Rams. My favorite football. I do, in fact, butt heads with the football team, the Rams, a lot because they need to not be terrible. No, I butt heads a lot with feminists in that I'm very much. I get misconstrued a lot. And I'm sure I'm going to offend somebody by saying this, but not intentionally.
Just go for it.
Just try to understand what I'm saying here. I very much.
full of dudes. I think.
Yeah, I mean, well, the listeners.
Yeah, here.
I know we have probably a great many female listeners. Anyway,
Jake, we started this podcast with Jews.
yeah, that's fair.
So,
we did do Jews.
I think you're in the
We
clear.
did do Jews.
I think you're
Just
in the
like
clear.
that, in fact. That was the perfect impression.
Yeah.
I butt heads a lot with them because I very much believe in equal treatment for all. But I take that to its utmost end. I very much believe in no recompense for the sins of the father. I don't think that men or women, in any case, should be in any way sort of reprimanded for things that they didn't do. And that even goes so far, and I'm kind of an asshole in this respect, but that goes so far as even in the way that people word things, whenever they use men as a
I
blanket
don't even
term
wanna
or
say
women
it
as a
on here.
blanket term, it gets to me.
first
It kind of
one,
frustrates me because everyone, like, it's obvious, like, men and women in general didn't do this. It was a very small, specific group of either one who have or have not done something. So whenever, it's notorious that feminists or people who are very much for women's rights regardless of what it's for,
Right.
they will use in shorthand the term just men, just men in general. Which I mean, it happens to everybody. Like everybody just uses the shorthand. Like fucking, it happens. But it irritates me to no end because I'm a writer. I'm a stickler for, like, if someone writes something a specific way, I believe they meant to do it that way, very like intentionally. And so a lot of times I will butt heads with them, like I said, or I will get into arguments with them. And I'm also it's double terrible because there's my favorite XKCD comic, which is it's a webcomic that is drawn not poorly,
but just in like simple stick figure.
Yeah,
style.
it's very simple. It's very simplistic,
Right.
and it's I believe self advertised as a comic about math, science, love, and something else. But one of my favorite comics from SKCD is just a picture of a guy sitting at a computer, and a girl's behind him, and he's like, hey, we have to go to this thing. And the guy's like, hold on, someone is wrong on the internet.
That is my fucking life, dude.
Yeah, that's every fucking time.
No, it's like, honey, come to bed. He's like, no, I can't. Someone is wrong on the
and
internet.
I have to tell them why, and they never understand.
Right.
And I try my damnedest to explain myself. But it's just, I come to a head like that every time. And it's not because I'm confrontational, it's just because I have this view and I'm really bad at getting it across. I think we're probably fine for. Wait, did you say 153?
140.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. So yeah, we can.
You can talk.
I mean, yeah.
140.
Probably right
Yeah. All
around the
right.
next
So,
10 or so.
what else does? What else do we have?
Well, I brought up an anal cunt track listing, but I'd really rather not say most of these.
No, let's look at it. Let's give it to me.
I'll find the least offensive ones, and I'll show you the rest after.
No. I'll read them because I'm the one who's banking his entire career upon this podcast.
Okay.
So
No. I can do this.
sorry.
I have nothing to
I'm
say.
sorry, Jake.
We apologize.
This is
read the choice.
to be clear. This is the
least
some of the song names from the Anal Cunt release. It just gets worse. It's a grindcore like death metal.
Do
band.
the USDA choice ones.
The kind of music I can't even begin to understand how people like it. But
Like I Wrestle a Bear ones.
worse.
Worse.
Yeah. I
Okay.
mean, if you want, we can listen to one after the show too.
Well, and the thing with I Wrestle a Bear ones is, real briefly, that I appreciate them because they take the music so not seriously.
Yeah.
They do whatever the fuck they want, and I appreciate that.
Well, Anal Cunt clearly doesn't either.
Yeah.
But okay. There's like 40
Let's
tracks.
do
There's
this,
like 40 tracks in this album. They're all like 30 to 45 seconds. They're like really short.
One of
songs.
those fucking albums.
But if I had to run down a greatest hits here, opening track, I became a counselor so I could tell rape victims they asked for it.
Wow. Open and hard.
I sent concentration camp footage to America's Funniest Home Videos.
Jesus.
I sent a thank you card to the guy who raped you.
Oh my
I lit your baby on fire.
There was a reason why during your conversation,
No, that's
both
true.
me and Brandon were giving this like, oh
Yeah,
my
I kept
god.
seeing that like they were looking at fucking gore porn or something.
God, I really should have put an advisory in before I started reading these.
I'll put an advisory in there.
Your kid committed suicide because you suck.
This is also just coming off of me talking about me and feminists butting heads just all the time.
Hitler was a sensitive man.
God damn it.
No, that's a great
I made
track.
fun of you because
No,
your kid just
that's
died.
a great.
No, he's speaking in metaphor.
Mein Kampf is a grand story.
You know what?
It's a metaphor.
I sold your dog to a Chinese restaurant. I'm done.
Mein
You don't want
Kampf.
to read that last one?
Mein
I don't like
Like I go
I
to
don't
the
like where you're going with this.
No, you know what? I'm not going to
Okay.
go anywhere crazy with this.
Okay.
As far
Can't go much crazier
Yeah,
than this
I mean-
went.
God, my brother's a dumbass. He has read Mein Kampf.
Okay.
hope
And
he's listening.
I have not.
I would like to sit down with him.
Yeah,
because I've read it too. so-
He's an interesting fellow.
He's a sensitive man.
This is true.
He thinks that Hitler is an incredible writer. Thinks he's very very well spoken.
He's an incredible speaker, for what it's worth.
Truth.
Yeah, he was
But
an orator.
there's a reason
for
No,
why-
a
no one's denying that.
Yeah.
There's a
But
reason
he,
why he
like,
got so much
like
power.
as soon as he says it, he's like, "Now I'm not saying," it's a quick like, "Ugh," but
Well, it's the same thing with Seinfeld being like they'd say a gay comment and go, "Not that there's anything
Not
wrong."
that
with
there's anything
that."
wrong
I'm not
Yes,
saying I
I
hate
get that.
black people,
Yes.
but
Yeah. You're still racist. You're just
Right.
trying to pretend like you're not.
yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, but it's just like there is this wall, for lack of a better term, that people can't get through when discussing Hitler because he did some bad stuff.
Understatement of the year.
Right.
Hitler did a bad thing.
Right. It's
A great many bad things, really.
to never examine what kind of a writer he really was, and there's a parallel to be drawn from where I come from is that a lot of people won't listen to Michael Jackson or Queen because Freddie Mercury was gay or Michael Jackson had this shady past.
Wrestling reference, Chris Benoit.
Correct.
Yes, there you go. I actually had a really what most people would call it an interesting conversation. I would call it an insane conversation with my father about how Freddie Mercury was gay and how he doesn't listen to Queen anymore because he was very much. My father is very much a music man. He was in a cover band for a long time called Savannah. They did a few.
Did they do Africa covers?
No.
Yeah.
Though that would have been rad.
Just a cover.
No, they did like a lot of arena rock covers, shit like
Real
that.
quick, I was not comparing Michael Jackson.
No, you're fine.
To
You're
Hitler.
fine. No,
I mean,
yeah.
same concept, but different.
For the listeners.
I mean, Chris Benoit's in a whole different role.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
I'm bringing up the guy who killed his family and himself here.
But that's like a perfect example. Like people like my father would be very uncomfortable listening to Queen after Freddie Mercury came out. Even before then, they would listen to it and be like, "This is fucking awesome. Queen is the shit." And for whatever reason, the instant he came out, they were like,
His music is so fucking gay.
Even though it's literally I think that after he came out, Queen really hit its peak.
Yep.
They finally came into their own.
Well, I mean, he came out. Yes, he came. I'm sorry, I was thinking.
No, you're fine.
Whenever he got.
8.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, 8. I was like, no.
When did he come out?
He died quite.
He died really fast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was like he announced it, and then 3 days later.
He fucking bit it.
Which
Yeah.
is crazy.
That must have been just fucking mind-boggling.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
Alive for that particular time.
But it's to the point. I don't know. I'm sure my father is just an outlier. But people to this day won't even listen to Queen before he announced he was gay. They won't do it because it just makes them uncomfortable, and that's lost on me because I understand that art, and I very much believe music is art. That's a lot of music. Maybe not all of it, but a great deal of it is art, and I understand that part of art is the artist and what they were going through at the time and what they were trying to convey. But the idea that you might not expose yourself to art just because it might make you uncomfortable is lost on me because for me that's very much something that I want to do. I want to be exposed to shit that I'm uncomfortable with that somebody else is trying to convey to me because I want to understand where they're coming from. I want to know these different these different lifestyles, these different point of views, these different just ways of living because in that I can find a way that I'm finally comfortable living my own life because I'm fucking 22 years old. I don't fucking know what the shit I'm gonna do. I'm a fucking kid still. Ask bitch.
I'm making a profile.
Making a profile
For the website.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
But I'm still going through shit. I told my mom one time because there's the whole fucking it's a whole thing with my dad. But I told my mom one time that if I'm 25 and I'm still mooching off of you and still being this terrible person, that cut me off. Just stop giving me this fucking lenience.
Mm-hmm.
And I very much believe in that. And it's literally every fucking day I think should I make that sooner? Should I tell her? Be if I'm 23, 24, whatever. But it's you can't rush it.
Mm-hmm.
And for these people who
That's what I've been learning.
exactly you can't set a time on it. And again if it comes to the point where she needs to cut me off. By all fucking means. My mom listens to this. Mom, if you need to cut me off, fucking cut me off. I'll do it. Whatever. But
shout out to Jake's mom.
Shout out to Jake's mom.
Synchronicity.
It's that's the only mom I know listens to this too. I know your stepmom doesn't listen to it.
My stepmom made it a point to tell me that she wouldn't listen to it. I don't know if my mom even knows it exists.
I don't know. I don't think your
They
mom
know
listens.
about it. They don't listen to it.
Brandon's parents probably
She
don't.
can't find it.
Ian's parents, I'm 99% sure don't listen to it. But it's one of those things for our generation, it's much more something that we can acclimate to because we want to experience these new things,
Right.
because we've had this world where we're connected. We know all these things. We have experienced all of these experiences because we have them. Like the internet it's an amazing thing that brings us all closer together, but at the same time it makes us, it's
Further apart.
No.
no, not further apart.
Stop looking into the distance, Andrew.
It brings us together, and it kind of desensitizes us to
Right.
it all.
To the point
So-
where bands like Anal Cunt exist.
Exactly. Like, we need to have this abrasive
God, I hope my
sort
mom
of...
doesn't listen to this. I've said that like 20 times.
We have this abrasive sort of culture that is rising simply because we need it. We need to have...
That's a great point. Like 20 years ago, Howard Stern was like, "What the fuck is this guy?" saying?"
Yeah, like
now he's on the X Factor.
he
or
said
America's
shit
Got
on
Talent.
fucking
America's Got
radio,
Talent.
and he's
Yeah.
like, "Oh my god!" And now
Right.
people are just like, "Put him on TV."
And so now, like you said, we keep having to find raise the bar in terms of shock value because
Yeah.
for some reason we crave that.
Yeah.
There's a big joke. There's this web series that I'm gonna shout out to. Hey Ash, what you playing? And they make fun of the whole shock factor idea with Modern Warfare. Like she pretends like she's the company manager, and she
Yeah.
goes, "I need ideas, people. I need something shocking." And he just goes, "Well, we really can't do shocking anymore. I mean, we had the airplane massacre. We blew up a kid in this last one. People are going to be expecting now whatever we do, and then it's not going to be nearly as big." And then they do their own jokes, but I'm like, that's a really good point.
Yeah, and I think that it's weird, and this is kind of a stretch again.
No, you're good,
That is why
sir.
that is why like a show
You.
like Seinfeld and the HBO one, Curb
Curb Your
Your
Enthusiasm.
Yes.
worked
Oh, yeah.
incredibly well because it was the antithesis of all of that was happening
Yeah.
at the time.
Yes.
It's a show about nothing when all of this shit
Is
is happening
happening.
around us. And I think that I lost my train of thought. That's what I think.
That's fair.
Well, one thing that was great about Seinfeld was it treated even like the taboo as just like normal shit. Like it had the entire episode about masturbation, but it didn't make a big deal out of it.
Right.
It was just like, guys jack off. The fun in the episode is seeing how long they can go without doing it.
Right.
Not like, oh, you guys masturbate? That's fucking crazy. It's like, no, it's not a big deal. It's just, it is what it is. This is the world we live in. Just fucking take it and find the humor in it.
Yeah, it's nice to comment on the world. It's nice to see something comment on the world rather than try to make the world more fucked up and then comment on that.
Well, yeah, and of
Right.
course that's the origin of the, not that there's anything wrong with it, is from Seinfeld.
Right,
The
yeah,
gay
right.
thing. So they were establishing right out of the gate, like,
yeah,
it's,
whatever, dude.
Do what you gotta do.
it's not my way, but go for it,
Yeah.
Just, again, finding humor in it. I've always loved that.
Every time I talk about Seinfeld, I get more comfortable with the idea that it's like the best sitcom out of the 90s.
It's
like,
it's got an argument for the best sitcom ever.
Like when I first heard, I've never heard best sitcom ever, but when I first heard there was best sitcom from the 90s, I was like, whoa, man.
I'd say it's definitely the front runner of the 90s.
But that was like 4 years ago, and every time I hear it, I get more comfortable with the idea. I'm like, you're right,
Yes.
you're right, you're right.
It was a great show.
Absolutely.
Really,
Thought it was really clever.
it was innovative in its simplicity.
Yeah, man, best sitcoms ever. I would totally agree with that. I mean, I love that show. I think shows like Carol Burnett and stuff like that are really
Oh
high
god,
up there.
dude! I recently I had to go to urgent care because I had a flare up of mono, and on the TVs they had an interview with Tyra Banks.
Yeah.
Get shut up.
It wasn't me. It was this
Did
guy.
you not see me on a scoot 10 feet?
This was like 6 months ago.
Oh, great.
But
I already have it.
they have. I haven't kissed you.
Yes.
They had on the TV an interview
You
that
black
Tyra
out.
Banks was doing with Carol Burnett and
California.
Carol Burnett and a couple other people that were on the Carol Burnett show.
Yeah.
Shut up. And I was like, what the fuck is it? Because I'd never heard of it. Because I'm a child. I was born in 91. I didn't hit shit until like 96.
Right.
So I'm very much a child of the late 90s, not the early 90s or anything like that. And I went home that day and I was like, what the fuck is this? I looked it up and I watched a couple episodes. I was like, this is really fucking funny.
Yeah,
and then I
absolutely
got
it is.
like the rest of the episodes. I was like, holy shit, this is funny as shit.
Yep.
And it's not even like dirty funny. It's just like funny. Like for whatever reason, what they're doing, I can't. It's literally one of those things I can't explain it. It's just funny.
Yep.
Like to me, everything they do is funny. Even just like the elephant sketch. I don't know. It's hilarious. I don't know why. But
and I think that not witty, but comedy that's not body is as it goes.
that's not like physical.
Right. Well, not physical, but just like I don't know what like
Showy maybe.
I think
yeah,
I know what you mean.
like Seinfeld is not like a body, like a dirty
It's not
humor.
flashy.
Yeah, super flashy.
Mhm.
Goes kind of under the radar a lot of times, and that's why like one of the shows that I will totally pimp out for the rest of my life, having watched the entire run of it, is Frasier.
Oh my god, I love
I,
Frasier.
I watched
Frasier's a
the
good
entire
show.
season I watched the entire series over probably a 3-month period, and
3
not
months.
yeah.
You
Do
have
it in a
to-
month.
You have to have, after a while, though, you need to have a certain level of maturity to get it, though. Because like
Yeah.
when I was
Exactly.
a kid growing up,
Well,
it would always come on like after.
I thought Frasier was the stupidest thing.
No,
when I was a kid.
anything that I knew about from Frasier as a kid was the like that was all I knew as a kid. But then like it came on like when I was in like late high school, and I'm like, oh,
It's terrific.
I haven't seen it, and it felt like a different show. I was like, this is really clever.
And it was
Really,
very
you know.
much like at the time people were like rating it as like the smartest show on television,
incredibly
and they were right. Like in retrospect, they were so incredibly right. At like I don't know, obviously I don't have much recollection of what was on television at the
Right.
time, but watching it back then, it's smarter than like 3/4 of the shit that's on TV now.
Well, I mean,
that's a funny
if
fucking show.
If you compare it to like what it was on TV with, the other primary sitcoms of the time were Seinfeld and Friends.
Yep.
And Seinfeld, while certainly intelligent, is probably a notch below, and Friends is standard sitcom fare. That
Right,
while
Yeah.
funny,
Well,
is
what
very-
we would consider
is
now is standard, but
Well,
at
yeah.
the time, Friends was very
yeah,
revolutionary.
yeah. But at the same time, it's very safe humor. For
Yeah,
the most part.
yeah.
right.
And it's low level thinking kind of humor. It's mass appeal. I don't
Yeah.
want to say low level thinking. That sounds insulting, but mass appeal. Anyone can
Yeah.
watch Friends and find laughs in it. Whereas Frasier and Seinfeld, at times,
Right.
it takes kind of a
and
higher
highbrow.
level. Yeah.
And of those, I think that the ensemble work done in Frasier is like the tightest of the like.
Oh yes.
The chemistry between David Hyde Pierce, and Kelsey Grammer, and John Mahoney, and Jane Leeves is just incredible.
Well, yeah, and I can't emphasize the importance of an ensemble in comedy anyway.
Right.
All of the best comedies have really high functioning casts that
Right,
work really
and
well
that goes.
together.
I mean, that's
I only recently got to watch the this again because this came out years ago. It was like the Oprah episode with everyone from Seinfeld in the cast.
Oh
They
yes.
were going into like the last episode and what all happened, and I was like, oh, they were really with shit. Yeah, like stuff like that.
Well,
It's
and-
it's really cool to hear
yeah.
that. Yeah.
They still like do stuff
Oh, yeah.
like they did season 7 of Curb.
Yeah, season
together.
7 of Curb, they did the Seinfeld reunion,
Yeah,
which
and
was really
like
great.
they
Shit was
apparently
rad.
they're still all in
Oh,
contact
yeah.
with each other.
Which is
I don't
really
know what
cool.
Michael Richards is doing anymore.
Did
Probably
you know
not.
that,
I don't think he's doing much.
Jerry
He's
Seinfeld
racist,
makes
I
like
mean.
millions of dollars a year just based off royalties for that
Yeah,
show?
syndication.
Oh, totally.
Syndication.
Both
and-
him and well, I think
They make fun of
I
that
think
really
the way
well
it
in 30
was
Rock, actually.
was Larry David signed a massive syndication deal. Like I want to say close to $1 billion because there's so many seasons and it can be rerun so many times.
And it is.
And
Yes.
he gets progressively less each year, but it's still more than
He
I'm
still
making
gets a
on my-
mega
totally.
fuck
He's getting enough to the point where he doesn't need to do anything.
Well,
Which is what I love. Like, after Seinfeld ended, Larry David and Jerry Seinfeld didn't need to do shit else for
No.
the rest of their lives,
Yeah.
probably. And Larry David went on and made another hugely successful and innovative sitcom, and Jerry Seinfeld's still out doing stand-up.
Apparently,
and shit.
he's on top of his game.
yeah, he came back.
That's
He
what I
was
love.
like,
Is
I've been hearing
he's just
that,
back
yeah.
to doing like stand-up. He's still like the top earning stand-up comedian in the country, and that's not counting money he makes off Seinfeld.
Yeah.
That's just
insane.
what he makes
Yeah,
doing
my dad
stand-up.
went and seen him in Kansas City. Said he was like on
Totally
point.
on game.
I
Just
believe it.
totally on point. I was
Really funny guy.
My favorite Jerry Seinfeld thing still, despite all of the episodes of Seinfeld, will still be the episode that he came back on SNL with Andy Samberg and somebody else. But it was like a huge reunion episode because someone was hosting for the 5th time, and they did this whole sketch where Chevy Chase they brought back on,
Oh,
which is
wait,
like
I know the
a
one you're talking
huge
about,
fucking
yeah.
deal because every time Chevy Chase comes on, he gets in a fucking fight with somebody.
Chevy was back for Justin Timberlake's 5th.
Was he?
Hosting
Oh, okay.
thing the other day.
So it wasn't Justin's. It was.
It wasn't Justin's, because I watched Justin's
It
episode.
was a season or 2 ago.
Yes.
It
remember you telling
happened
me
while I
about
was
it, yeah.
living in the house, so it must have been last season. But anyway, they came back and they were parodying the Voice during the opening monologue, and they had the chairs spin around, and Jerry Seinfeld was the last one. It was like Andy Samberg, someone else who had hosted a lot of times, and then Jerry Seinfeld, and he's like, "Hello," and everyone was like, "Oh shit, it's Jerry Seinfeld," because he hadn't been on there in like 10 fucking years or some shit.
Right.
And he was so fucking funny. Like everything he said was so good, and it felt right.
Yeah.
Just
well, I mean, he
everything
totally.
he did.
I mean, not to say that he revolutionized the stand-up game, but he took it to.
He certainly had a.
He made it his own for a long time.
Oh yeah, he came to play.
Yeah.
I mean, it says a lot that there are a lot of really big up and coming comedians now, and he's still probably the king of the king of the castle, as it were. And he's
I mean,
been doing it for forever.
him and obviously the low-hanging fruit answer is Louis. Like
Yeah.
those two.
Oh
are,
my god.
I'm
yes.
so happy with how far
Oh,
Louis
yes.
come to, man.
Yeah,
I hate to sound hipstery for a moment, but as someone
No.
who's been like aware of Louis C.K.
I'm
for
sure.
a long time, it's been great to watch him
I-
kind of like rise up to the
Yeah.
ranks of top comic.
Absolutely.
Like it's been great.
Finally watched the bit with him and Dane Cook.
Dude, that's
it's like
incredible.
one of
I've
the
seen that
best bits of television I've ever
It's
watched.
probably my favorite moment of that whole series, and yeah, it's great TV.
Oh, man.
Super captivating.
Uh,
Have you watched
It's-
Louis?
there was a huge discord between Louis C.K. and Dane Cook about Dane Cook stealing Louis C.K.'s jokes. And it's like season 1 or season 2?
Season 2.
Season 2, where they bring Dane Cook on, and they have literally like Louis and Dane Cook sit down, and they just talk.
It's like it's
Isn't it him for like asking for like?
he's
tickets
asking for Lady Gaga
Yeah.
tickets for his daughter,
Yeah.
and it's it's in a scripted show, but it feels alarmingly real within the confines
Well, how
of the show.
scripted is it? Or
Well,
is it kind of like a Judd Apatow thing? Where
It's,
like,
it's
just
hard
go
to.
for it?
I don't actually know how much of it because I know Louis writes basically
Yeah,
the whole
yeah,
show
yeah,
himself.
yeah,
He does the whole shit himself.
But
so-
that means that he also could improv a lot.
Right.
yeah.
Right.
So I don't know how much he like actually writes out, but either way, it is a scripted program.
Right.
But they still have this sit down with him and Dane Cook, and the two of them probably talk for 7 or 8 minutes.
Oh yeah.
And it honestly feels like a real conversation that's happening. Not like you're watching like a scripted program, but like you're watching like some candid interview where Dane Cook and Louis C.K. hash out their issues. It's really captivating
Dane Cook's
shit.
best acting
So,
performance.
no, it is.
It probably
like,
is.
easily, yeah. Like I loved him in Mr. Brooks,
Aside
but
from, like,
fuck,
waiting.
man.
Oh no, what's that movie he did with Jessica Alba?
Oh.
No,
In
that
Play
one.
of the Bone?
Good luck, Chuck.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah!
I
Other
saw
does a
that
good
movie. That movie is so fucking bad.
I believe it.
So, on that note, on that Dane Cook Louis C.K. note,
Oh,
we should probably wrap this up. It's getting a little bit long.
What's that too?
I would like to thank, at the very least, and I don't know you guys, I would like to thank Cody for coming on our show and being a fantastic guest.
Thank you, Cody.
I think you might rival, if not pass Tess.
Thank
Whoa,
you.
whoa,
so
whoa.
much.
I know. That's,
see.
whoa.
Let's not start shit talking the other
No,
guys.
I know, man.
No, I fucking beat her. No,
No, I had a great time talking to you.
guys,
I'm
thank
sure
you
these guys
so
did.
much
Hey,
for
thank you for being on.
having me on. I've never done this before. I would love to come back. If,
Oh,
like,
we-
and I don't mean to throw myself like
Don't
that.
ever be like, the door is open.
As
He
soon
just shows up
as
next
the
Tuesday.
instant we have it open, man,
Definitely.
I'll try to oscillate you. Because Tess said the same thing, so I'll try to oscillate you guys.
Yeah, I think I
Uh,
met her.
you probably
maybe
met her,
once.
yeah.
Well, because a lot of times, if we're gonna start doing 2 episodes like this, it'll likely happen that Ian has to bail or someone has to bail because they have to work in the
Right,
morning.
right.
So I'll give one of you 2 a call, or I'll have, like in your case, I'll have Mitch give
Do you
you a
guys
call.
normally record like on Tuesdays?
Yeah,
Tuesday
yeah,
nights.
every Tuesday.
Tuesday nights. Yeah. So and
This
at
is
the-
inside the writer's room stuff right now.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
getting a behind the scenes look.
At the earliest, we'll start about
Here.
8:30, 8:45. Latest, we'll start about 10.
And like tonight was an outlier. I hardly ever work Tuesday nights. Like I don't.
Yeah.
Oh no.
No, yeah, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well, we can talk about scheduling and stuff.
Yeah,
as
we'll-
well.
we'll
sure.
love to
This
have you
is, this is so not entertaining.
no, that's fine.
Jake just got off work. Actually,
Yeah, I
so,
did.
yeah.
Exactly.
Nice.
So we'd love to have you back anytime. But like I said, tonight we've run long. We're done here.
Yeah, I think so.
I've had a good
Could I make
time.
a
This
plug?
is
like just a real quick plug.
no plug it. Plug the shit.
Yeah,
out of it.
definitely. I got cast in the Directing to One Acts, Missouri State.
Yeah.
They run November 14th, 15th, and 16th. That's Thursday, Friday, Saturday. There's
Which one are you in?
I'm in the Actor's Nightmare. I'm in. Do you know Bruce?
Bruce.
Bruce,
Yes.
yes. I play the lead in the Actor's Nightmare.
Are you going to be
It's a
in,
very funny
like,
one.
I know they do them in like groups of plays. Are you going to
Well,
be on?
there's only 5 directors.
Oh, okay, so they
Thursday,
don't-
Friday, Saturday is all 5 plays.
Okay, awesome. All right. So Missouri State.
Missouri State.
Which dates are they?
November 14th, 15th, and 16th in the balcony. Shit's free. Get the fuck in there and go watch some. I don't know if it'll be good acting. It will be.
Oh no, it'll be good.
Go watch some acting.
Go watch Cody be a fucking him
Some
on stage.
action.
Is what's gonna
The
happen.
best.
Yeah, go watch Cody in the directing one acts. Starting on my left, we have
Andrew.
Mitch.
Captain Blasto.
Cody.
Captain
Blasto.
Blasto.
This
Been a
is
while.
Jake. Thank you guys for listening to us on episode 8 of Work in Progress. We'll be back next week with episode 9, probably with a new guest actually, who I mentioned earlier. He's with a local band called Bury Him Alive. We will introduce him later. You can move over to your beard, turn it off if you want to.
Stay groovy.
But yeah, stay groovy. We will see you guys soon.
Rate and review on iTunes.
Yes, rate, review on iTunes or Podomatic. We will be
Comment, like,
we'll be switching hosting sites soon. Stay tuned to our Facebook page for that. We'll keep you updated.
Shop Target.
Shop Target.
Fight Squad.